Wendy Bell Radio is live.
Good afternoon, everybody. How are you?
You got it right today.
I did.
Gotta change my camera.
It takes me a while, but I'll figure it out. Things are settling down a little bit. I got 6.5 hours of sleep last night.
Really?
Yeah. I knew the Steelers were going to lose, and so I went to bed. And that was that. Good morning or good afternoon, everybody. How are you? It'll be a while. So Brock is really butthurt today.
I am? Oh, I already told them.
I'm counting on you or Brock to tell me who is singing this song, Democrat Life, because your stream is moving so fast you can't read it. So Brock found that song this morning.
Look it up.
We listened to it today together, and I was like, what a great song. What a great, it's long without feeling forever, but it like hits on all cylinders. Who was it from?
I don't remember.
Oh, geez. Honest to... What?
Look at, you can Google YouTube.
No. I want you to do it. I want you to tell them what it is. They're asking you for it. So aside from all of the things that are keeping you busy right now, maybe you could do that. How about that?
The song is called Bye Bye Democrat Lies.
See? How hard was that? You were just
They said who.
You were like a liberal.
Who sings it?
No, you're like a liberal. No, they're asking for the. Oh boy. Okay. Anyway, how's everyone? How you doing? Hey, before I even begin, I want to tell you something. I got an email. It's a great message from one of our Wendy Bell Radio Army members. It's so great to have you. Thank you. Let's see. Hi, Wendy and Brock. Just wanted to boast about the effectiveness of Blood Flow 7. I mean, like, I don't know what more I need to tell you guys. Like, you have to try this. You have to try this. Okay? I just wanted to boast about the effectiveness of Blood Flow 7. I'm 59 years old, started working again about a year ago, back injury, had come to a plateau while weightlifting for about a week and a half, into taking Blood Flow 7. I have already started noticing way more power, longevity, and endurance while working out. I had to add another set because they've just simply become more smooth workouts, and the recovery is amazing. Thank you. It is a game changer. Bloodflow7.com/Wendy. I told you all my boys and Brock are taking, he's one of them too, are taking the Alpha Gold Mail. WendyBellRadio@gmail.com. Get it? Great discount. WendyBellRadio@gmail.com. Get it? Try it. Email me, WendyBellRadio@gmail.com.
Real quick, not to bombard with commercials. Our friend sent us these.
Very cool. Turn it around. It's the other way. No. You're inside out. We don't see the 250. Oh, my God. There we go. Isn't that neat? Isn't that beautiful? Full size. I guess we got them on disinfectwithsniper.com.
I told him to put them on the site.
He asked it.
Wanted to.
He asked if we minded, and I'm like, they're beautiful. I have mine, and so I'm going to put mine out.
American made. I'm going to hang mine back here when I get a chance.
You know, little things like that go a long way. How's everybody? How are you guys? What's going on, Pistol Pete? Hi, baby. I'm counting on you or Brock to tell me who's singing. Well, we just helped you out. Hey, Leah. What's going on, babe? I know Scott Adams.
Passed.
He has passed away. Yeah. And I watched his ex-wife give his, basically his last words. You know, it's interesting when you get a diagnosis or something like that happens, all this other bull crap. And some of it is bull crap and some of it's not. But it's amazing how your given F quotient goes down quite a bit when you've got other stuff going on, right? We got a fascinating show today. I'm super excited. Not a lot of sound, which is usually kind of terrifying just because it forces me and prove to you that I took my focus and recall.
Think of how many lives he's touched just in the last year.
Scott Adams.
Yeah. Just in the last year.
The president of the United States. You know, I bet you he says something. I bet you Trump says something.
I think he already truthed it out.
Did he?
I think so. I don't know.
Trump truth on Scott Adams passing. Oh, 19 minutes ago. Trump remembers Scott Adams, who liked and respected me when it wasn't fashionable. This is on Mediaite. President Trump paid tribute to cartoonist turned conservative influencer Scott Adams. After the news of his death broke Tuesday, praising the pundit for his early support of MAGA and offering condolences to his family. Sadly,
how many lies?
He said, sadly, the great influencer Scott Adams has passed away. He was a fantastic guy who liked and respected me when it wasn't fashionable to do so. He bravely fought a long battle against a terrible disease. My condolences go out to his family and all of his many friends and listeners. He will be truly missed. God bless you, Scott.
I didn't know him as Dilbert guy.
You didn't?
Mm-mm.
I didn't either. 5, 4, 3,
2, 1. Welcome to your daily dose of facts to fight off the liberal gaslighting.
You can be in the middle of a hurricane.
You have sanctuary in the city of Chicago.
Or you can be on a calm day. North is still north. You could be in a thunderstorm.
I am angry. We are not going back. Not ever.
North is still north. People can yell at you.
The hell with the Supreme Court. We will defy them.
North is still north. It doesn't change fundamental things. And in this business, right is still right, even if you stand by yourself.
We don't get fooled again. No.
Live across the fruited plain and from sea to shining sea, we're converting the Marxist left 1 hour at a time on the Wendy Bell radio program.
Well, hello, America, and greetings to all of you across the beautiful fruited plain and well beyond the confines of these United States of America. Delighted to have you here at the Wendy Bell Radio Network, where we sell something that is free to you, and it's called truth. You know, I'm tired, just as you are, of being lied to. I'm tired of being stolen from. I'm tired of people who pretend to represent me doing everything to screw me. I'm tired of it. And so we started something here, and we invite you to stay every day, to come back and be a part of something. Common sense, conservative values. It's amazing. They work. And if you think you're hungry for it, go to the Wendy Bell Radio app, wendybellradio.com. Watch our live video stream of the whole show, 3 hours. Thanks for being a part of my family. Welcome home. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Amen. You know, death is a really weird thing. And I'm speaking of it now because of the passing of Dilbert cartoonist and beloved conservative voice, Scott Adams. He passed somewhere between last night and this morning. His ex-wife went on his show today and made it official. And the reason why death is so weird, I think, for the living, is that in a way, on the one side, you find yourself sad, but also envious of the person who has crossed. You're envious because they now know the secrets. They're part of the club. They know what exists. They are there ostensibly. They know the truth. All we know is what we hope. We hope that there is a kind and merciful God and that there is some wonderful triumphant celebration when we walk into those gates and that they open for us. And that God forbid the slideshow that God makes you sit through and go back through perhaps the low lives of your life. Low lights, I should say, that you still are allowed to gain entry. So there's almost an envy. And then there's a fear of your own mortality. Is it going to hurt? Am I going to suffer? What's it going to be like? What's the end going to be? What's that day going to be like for me? What am I going to think? The last thing I think on this side and the first thing I see on the other. What will it be? Rest in peace, Scott. You left such a mark on so many of us because you simply dared to speak the truth. Isn't that what we want? I want it every day. I would way rather you just tell me you don't like me than pretend that you do, right? I would much rather know the circumstances that I'm facing rather than somebody dance around the truth and tell me to butter me up or soften the blow. Lay it on me. Let me deal with the consequences. It seems so humane, doesn't it? Well, we're going to begin today as we move into this program. Got a great show, by the way. We've got some wonderful sound from Scott Bessent. Man, he is a tiger. We've got a very worried attorney general in Minnesota named Keith Ellison. I wonder why he's so panicked, right? We've got more information coming out about this woman, Renee Good. We've got the obvious counter idea of what's going on in these cities that the media wants you to believe is ICE overreacting, this horrible influence of strength and force and making all these innocent people so scared. Well, we're going to push back on that. But first, you know what? I want to talk to you. If there is a clip right now that is so applicable for this first segment, because we're going to talk about the Clintons. Did you know that today was the day Bill Clinton was supposed to appear before House Oversight? In fact, it was just about, 2 hours ago that he was supposed, and we found a mashup that I think really kind of evokes the feeling of the day. You ready? Here we go.
The one thing that I will not forgive them for is their try to steal the joy from this country.
The joy felt by Americans backing the Harris Walls ticket.
We are joyful warriors.
Being joyful is part of the American identity.
The joy factor.
Campaign of joy. You're talking about radical joy.
It is downright joyful.
It looks like a joyous rally. It looks like a joyous occasion.
A real zeal and joy in the campaign.
The joy that you're bringing back to the country.
Joyful, exuberant rally.
Thank you for bringing back the joy.
Power of joy.
Hope and joy.
Something incredibly joyful.
She does it all with a sense of joy.
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 Joy. Joy.
Joy. Joy.
Imagine that. American politics. Joyful again.
Sorry, you hit the wrong button. That wasn't the mashup I was looking for.
Oh, is this the one?
It was something else.
No one is above the law.
Nobody's above the law.
No person is above the law.
No one 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 is above the law.
You're not above the law. You're not an elite. You're not untouchable. And so it's nice to see that the rule of law has returned.
You know what, Eric Swalwell? I could not agree more. Brock, thank you for finding that. No one is above the law. That means not presidents. That means not priests, right? Doesn't matter what you look like. Everybody is the same. None of us is above that area of law where somebody is empowered to tell you what to do for the greater good, for the safety and the security of the people, right? And you're not supposed to be above that. Is that what that means? Because that's not what we got today. Because Bill and Hillary Clinton are expecting to be held to a standard above the law. And I'm going to read you this from the New York Times. Bill and Hillary Clinton refused on Tuesday, that would be today, hours ago, in the House's Jeffrey Epstein investigation, escalating a months-long battle with Representative James Comer, Republican of Kentucky, effectively daring him to follow through on his threats to hold them in contempt of Congress. Hey, Brock, what has the House been yammering about for the last, year? What did they wanted released again?
Epstein files.
Oh, they wanted the Epstein files. And then what happened? We got some Epstein files, got lots of pictures.
But that wasn't enough.
But now they don't want that. That's not, no. Yeah, about that. Yeah. This is from Bill and Hillary. This is a joint statement to James Comer, to the head of House Oversight. Every person has to decide when they have seen or had enough and are ready to fight for this country, its principles and its people, no matter the consequences, for us, said the Clintons, now is that time. I'm going to decipher that for you. Oh, snap. You know we're dirty as sin with Jeffrey Epstein. We were all over that freaking island. Not just Bill, not just on the plane, not just getting rubbed down by Virginia Giuffre, not just all of the disgusting stuff on the island, but Hillary too. We're not coming in to testify. And we're instead going to say, this is our pushback against the tyrannical dictator named Donald Trump. You know what, guys? Suck it. That ship sailed a long time ago. Your propaganda BS does not work on a very awakened American public. Because, see, you fail to understand that we are aware of you and your criminality. We're aware of Russia. We're aware of everything regarding your creepy email server. To wash it with bleach. What? Wipe it with a cloth? All of your idiot. I have never had sex with that woman. Come on, you sick, disgusting dirtbags. And you want to conflate this as you're falling on the sword to protect democracy. We're not going to go in and talk about all of the people we know from Jeffrey Epstein and his sordid little locales. We're above that. Ladies and gentlemen. Oh, wait a minute. I thought no one was above the law. That's kind of weird, isn't it? Mr. Comer has repeatedly threatened to hold the Clintons in contempt. Do it, Jim. Do it. Grow a pair. I love all of your oversight investigations. I love that this is like a chance on C-SPAN for you and the other Republicans and Democrats on oversight to get your 5 minutes of fame and make sure you get the clicks that you need on Twitter, right? Because a lot of people are up for re-election, but here's what we want. We want progress. We want handcuffs. We want people who lie under oath, who perjure themselves, which is a felony last time I checked, to be held accountable. That means handcuffs, perp walk, fingerprints, mug shot, all of it. Jumpsuit, the closing of the jail door. We don't just want it. We demand it. Because if we were even remotely as disgusting as the Clintons, you and I would be at Guantanamo. We'd be at Gitmo. We'd be at the DC Gitmo with the J6ers. Comer had set a deadline of Tuesday, today, for Mr. Clinton to appear, and Wednesday for Mrs. But 2 hours before the deadline, the Clintons made clear they had no intention of presenting themselves on Capitol Hill to be questioned by Mr. Comer and members of his committee. They submitted an 8-page legal letter laying out why they considered the subpoenas invalid and legally unenforceable. Hey, Bill, Hill. Everybody's getting questioned. This is the uproar. Y'all wanted Epstein stuff. We're digging into the Epstein stuff. We're doing what y'all wanted. So now how about you take a seat, shut your mouth, and stop trying to bloviate your way out of this. If you're guilty, we'll find out. If you're not, sit down. Any questions? It's almost like you know exactly what is going on. When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, beating them at their own game. Does anybody actually see Scott Besson as the rock star he's turned out to be? Because he's freaking madman. So now he's trying to get people in this Minnesota grift, fraud, Somalian crap to snitch on each other. He's giving them like legal incentives and monetary reward to do so. Brilliant. Next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. We don't believe that we're going to play games with this administration right now. We know that it's all about retribution of their political enemies. No, they just want to ask you some questions about how many girls you banged, Bill. Sorry. It was probably just erotic massages because, you know, that ends well. How's everybody? Doing well? This is a great time for me to tell you about the wellness company. Because if you're going to have a joyful platform, it's all about joy, you got to have great teeth, right? And the wellness company has a wonderful product. It's called Smile. And, you know, ever since you and I were little, it was all about fluoride. right? Oh, it's fluoride. It's good. Doctors say, dentists say, blah, blah, blah. Well, we've learned a lot about fluoride, and fluoride might not be the greatest thing we have. So the wellness company carved it out. Instead of putting fluoride in their toothpaste, they put in something called peptides, and peptides are different. This is a thing that whitens your teeth, builds your enamel, and also helps you with receding gum lines and all that stuff. You've got sensitivity when you brush. I do now. This getting older thing blows. This stuff is going to be so helpful for you. You're going to get 10% off right now. You're going to get free shipping, rush shipping, right? TWC, thewellnesscompany.com/Wendy. Throw my name at checkout, 10% off. The product is called Smile. Okay. And again, I'm going to say it changes everything. First ever fluoride-free peptide toothpaste designed to assist in the reversal of gum loss at the source. So it doesn't just stop it, it rewinds it. Hello. That's where the sensitivity comes in. twc.health/Wendy. Right? Okay. How you doing? So there's interesting polling, or let's just say reaction to it, by Mark Mitchell. He is the lead pollster at Rasmussen. I don't usually take a lot of his stuff or any of the pollsters because I think they're all. But this is interesting. Talks about the opportunity Trump has right now with the momentum and the hunger of people for justice, handcuffs, pain, right? Deportations, all of it.
Scott Bessent knows where to look. He knows what. I truly believe he knows where to look, and he knows where to put pressure.
Yes.
And that's something that Congress and their oversight have no idea.
And to be honest with you, if you don't cooperate with them, they have all of the mechanisms to go around you. So it's sort of like you can comply or not, but we know how to get in. Apparently, the work of Doge has not stopped, even though they wanted to firebomb Tesla and basically burn Elon in effigy. It's been going on. Oh, yes. Defraud when asked to show proof of work, open the books, show me your work, whatever it is, they're willing to be like, yeah, absolutely, take a look. You're proud of what you've done. You're not hiding anything, for sure. Now, if you've got something to hide, or you've been doing it all wrong, or you're lying and thieving and pilfering from the American people, you're going to do whatever you can to stonewall, slow walk, run out the clock, make people run through oatmeal to get to where they need to go. Scott Bessent is like, yeah, about that. I don't think so. He's a badass. I love this guy. Secretary of the Treasury says, follow the money. Treasury Department tackles Minnesota fraud schemes with an eye on more blue states. This is coming to you from WashingtonStand.com. Rampant fraud committed by immigrants in Minnesota has captured headlines for weeks. But President Trump's America First Treasury Secretary has a plan for addressing the issue. Already, the Trump administration has swarmed the state with immigration law enforcement agents and has instituted a new Justice Department task force to quash fraudsters in Minnesota and across the nation. Now, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent is plotting to incentivize members of the widespread fraud schemes to turn on each other. I mean, come on. Could you see Janet Yellen doing that? That little troll, that little troglodyte, white-haired zero with the awful accent, and it's transitory. Okay, right? Here's Scott Bessent. He's like, so here's what we're going to do. You guys ready? Hey, Earl, get in here. All right, so here's what we're going to do. So all these people are deceitful dirtbags. They're all in on it together, right? They all know that we know, and they don't want us to know, but we know. And it's all coming out. And so we're going to pinch them, and we're going to squeeze them on each other. And we're going to give like a couple of them who tell the most. We're going to give them maybe a little bit of lenience, maybe let them bounce, get out of here, go back to small. You guys like it? I like it. Let's go. And break. That is Scott Bessent. We know that these rats will turn on each other, he said. We heard today that one of the people who's been convicted of fraud was given $200,000 to bribe a juror. And she was so corrupt, she skimmed $80K off the top and only tried to give a $120,000 bribe, Besant asserted. So we're going to go after whistleblower payments. We're going to offer whistleblower payments to anybody who wants to tell us who, what, when, where, and how this fraud has been done. Wait a minute. We're not just going to squeeze them by saying, look, if you don't talk, you're out of here. We're going to give them what they're starving for. More money. Here's several, whatever, tens of thousands of dollars, right? You help me unwind this network, and you've got a one-way ticket to Tahiti and probably $1 million in the bank to never freaking come back. Deal? Where do I sign up? This is crazy. The Treasury Department is also scrutinizing financial firms used to wire money abroad, particularly targeting remittances to Somalia, where millions of dollars wound up in the coffers of Islamist terrorist group Al-Shabaab. Oh, great. This is an outrage. President Trump is outraged. I'm outraged, Scott Besson said. The whole administration is. While visiting Minnesota, he said, we're here to follow the money because that is what Treasury does. We have done that for years. We did it with the mafia. We have done it with the cartels. And now we're going to do it with these Somali fraudsters. Wow. The Treasury Department alone has already launched 4 investigations into money service businesses suspected of being used by fraudsters to send the stolen money to Somalia. And Besson announced that the suspicious activity threshold for financial transfers will be lowered from $10,000 to $3,000. From now on, he added, anyone who wires money out from one of these money service businesses has to check a box saying whether they're on public assistance. And if you are, we are going to start pushing that you cannot wire money out of the country. Well, what do we know about 9 out of 10 Somalians who've come to relocate to the land of the free here in America? Well, we know that just about 89% or something like that are on welfare. And after 10 years living in America, they haven't gotten off of it. They're still on it. You're trying to wire money out of town? I don't think so. Those would be the suspicious activity reports that flagged the laptop from hell, which, of course, Hunter Biden says really wasn't his. It was a fake, right? So here you are, ladies and gentlemen. America screaming for President Trump to act like a dictator. Squash this. End it. Punish, highlight who the offenders are, punish them, and claw back the money from the people who broke our law to get in here to rob us freaking blind. And while we're at it, Ilhan Omar, bounce that broad stat. When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, your freedom, meantime, is sweeping across the globe, at least in our hemisphere. It's like a tidal wave, thanks to the historic leadership of President Trump. Let's talk about Cuba. Let's talk about Venezuela. Let's talk about all of it, what Trump is doing. It is masterful. Next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. When you're ready to get educated about gold and silver, and I was kind of forced into it, like Texas Bullion Exchange got in touch with me and they're like, we like what you do. We follow you and we like your show and we like your values and who you are and what you believe in. And I was like, I got to be honest with you. I don't know anything about you people. And I know nothing about gold and silver. And they're like, well, can we set up a call for like an hour? And I was like, yeah, sure, we can do that. And so we were on the phone and they literally gave me this magnificent lesson on the gold standard, what happened when the dollar, blah, 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 1971 and all this other stuff. And they talked to me about the value of gold and how gold over time has been used and what it is now. And I was like, this is the most fascinating history lesson I'd heard. But economically speaking, for savings, for smart planning, for retirement, for tomorrow. Having a conversation with Texas Bullion Exchange is smart. They want to know your goals and they want to help you achieve those goals. And they're wonderful people to deal with. WendyLovesGold.com. Ask about their principal protection program. And this is cool. Like, whatever you buy from them, if, say, down the road, 20, 30, 80 years from now, you want to sell it back, you'll never sell it back at a loss. You'll never sell it for less than you bought it. It's a pretty wild guarantee. WendyLovesGold.com, 855-927-5557. I love them. WendyLovesGold.com. All right. I love that Scott Besson is he's gonna take people who are scammers and he's gonna be like, I got an offer for you. You're not gonna serve any time. You can bounce from our country. You're never allowed back. But you're not gonna starve, and you can choose your destination. And we'll give you a free ticket to get there. See you later. But give me all your deets. Tell me about your conversations with Tim Walz. Tell me about Ilhan Omar. Tell me about how you contributed to her and what she did for you. Right? All right, Brock, I've been talking too much already. You're just sitting there creepily, so.
Wow. I was going to send you a tweet this morning of this guy walking out of the Steeler game. And all I could think about while he was talking was our country.
Oh.
He didn't swear. He said, what did you expect? The same thing's been going on for 19 years with this guy, speaking of Tomlin. He's like, it's the same thing. It's the same plays. It's the same result. Every year you're going to get just enough that you get sucked in next year. It's the same thing. And I'm like,
I walked away about 3 years ago.
I'm like wow.
Where I get connected to it and I'm excited about it. And I'm like, yeah. And I get geeked up by the games. And now I'm like, it's a great time for me to go shopping, I find.
If I have to go grocery shopping.
Or golfing.
Yeah.
It's a great time for a tea time. A little earlier on in the season.
There's so many parallels to the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah. Same
old thing, same old people in charge.
Bring in some new players here and there with a little razzle dazzle, but there's really not a whole lot going on.
Yeah. Same old talk every year.
Go up the middle.
This guy's so good. Look, the grass isn't always greener.
But it's always a winning record.
Yeah.
Oh. It's always mediocre.
You're just getting by.
It's always It's always like one slice away from, it's mediocre. It's one slice above mediocre.
Yeah,
you're like,
if that.
You're mediocre a little bit better than.
And he's like, the standard is the standard. So I know one of the coaches, good guy. And the running joke is we always have a Super Bowl party. And halfway through the season, I'll be like, I'll see you at the Super Bowl party.
Right?
And, he doesn't laugh about it, but it's the same every year.
You do.
I do. He waits for it, really, but it's the same thing. Nothing's going to change. And the definition when it comes to the Steelers or politics, until you shake it up, nothing's going to change.
100%. I'm glad you guys are here. 6,000 live watching. Hello. Good afternoon. Thank you. If you're new, drop us a line in the comments section under the video box. After you hit the Rumble button, give us a thumbs up. Hit follow. We're trying to get, and we're on pace, by the way. Alan, my data guru guy, he's my Harry Enton. Alan does this to me. Just going to say. He says we're on track. We're on track for Easter, which I guess is right around my birthday. Is the day after or something like that. My birthday's often around Easter. I love it because it's my favorite holiday. I don't really care about my birthday. I care about Easter. So he says that we're ready to go, ready to rock and roll on our way there, which is fantastic. But that we desperately need you guys to click the rumbles and the follow button. So thank you. Scott Adams. It's fascinating when you see the dichotomy of what this president is trying to do in this realville, where he's not just looking at where America was and has been, specifically under Joe Biden, and where he wants to dig out of and get us on the track toward. Not only is he domestically completely consumed with what's going on, he's looking at all of these other things on the planet, and he's making strategic moves, not just for now, but for forever. Like, this isn't just a guy who wants you to remember this or that about his presidency. This is a man who is going to be a transformational figure in world history, not just American history, not just that he beat an assassin's bullet, not just that who was able to get 80 million people or whatever the final number is, if you actually believe it, to come together and vote together, not just specifically for him, but for a better tomorrow and to save the country that we saw the Democrats flushing down the toilet. What he did with taking out Maduro in Venezuela is so important. And the stealth by which that op went down, paralleling the mind-boggling op in Iran, taking out their nuclear everything. No loss of life for America, right? Targeted, planned to a T, 36 hours in the sky. This refueling, that refueling, this darkness in the sky. To do two huge things on planet Earth. One, setting Iran back and being like, I don't think so. And two, Maduro, no, I don't think so here either, dude. And then using the oil from Venezuela as leverage, saying, of course, that we are the ones who have the ability, have the technology, have the infrastructure, the know-how, and the people who can extract it from the infrastructure in Venezuela, which is ramshackle. Get it out of the ground, process it, right? Because it needs a lot of processing. And then putting it on the open market and selling it to then recoup our losses from what we've had stolen from us, but also using that money to give back to the Venezuelan people and holding the new Venezuelan government accountable. Either you are in line with this new Western Hemisphere world order where the United States is in charge in its peace through strength. We will not fiddle with you, but you ought not even consider fiddling with us. If we can agree on a few things, we don't have to agree with each other all the time. But we can unite and there can be a golden age. Here is the path. This is what this president is doing. So Venezuela, Cuba, and Mexico to the south, Canada and Greenland to the north. This is hemispheric alignment. President Trump is making big, bold plays to realign North America and basically boot communist China. So did you hear what he did yesterday, Trump did with the tariffs? So he said, you know what? You want to do any kind of business with Iran and you want to do business with us? The United States is slapping on a 25% tariff on anything you try to sell here in our country, period. Absolutely suffocating, squeezing the financial lifeblood out of Iran's leadership. As the people there, week 2.5, taking to the streets, fighting for life, fighting for freedom, fighting to live the glorious life they want to live without rules, without religious intolerance, without demands, without archaic rules for women. And President Trump is putting the squeeze on this. So he truthed out yesterday. Effective immediately, any country doing business with the Islamic Republic of Iran will pay a tariff of 25% on any and all business being done with the United States of America. This order is final and conclusive. Thank you for your attention to this matter. He's absolutely kneecapped Cuba. I can't even imagine what Secretary of State Marco Rubio is thinking right now. As today's Cubans who have fled their country and come to America and have become American citizens in droves, have watched the demise of their great land, the corruption of horrendous, dictatorial, suffocating leaders, to leave on any makeshift vessel possible, putting their lives on the line with every wave, just to cross the sea to reach America. It's wild. So this is what Trump put out his truth on Cuba. I think it's fascinating because we're seeing what's going on there. Cuba lived for many years on large amounts of oil and money from Venezuela. In return, Cuba provided security services for the last two Venezuelan dictators, but not anymore. Most of those Cubans are dead from last week's USA attack, and Venezuela doesn't need protection anymore from the thugs and extortionists who held them hostage for so many years. Venezuela now is the United States of America, the most powerful military in the world by far. To protect them, and protect them we will. There will be no more oil or money going to Cuba. Zero. I strongly suggest they make a deal before it's too late. Thank you for your attention to this matter. So he's not just squeezing Iran, he's squeezing Cuba. He's telling the people in Venezuela, you have a choice. You really don't. If you want to succeed, you do as we say. And then he dropped this about Cuba, Venezuela, and Iran. Seems like he had a lot on his mind yesterday, right? It would be amazing, an amazing string of victories if it happens. 2 decades of Venezuelan communism, 5 decades of Iranian mullahs, almost 7 decades of Castro's Cuba, and all of this, ladies and gentlemen, could be reversed in the year 2026. Seriously. I want you to hear Representative Tim Burchett from Tennessee. So he's at the airport, presumably in Nashville, and he's heading back to Washington, D.C., and he's just been named head of the DOJ committee. So he's the guy who's in charge of working with DOJ, and he's the guy who wants Elon Musk to come back into the fray, come back, help us. The work has not stopped. We are going to stop the fraud and the waste and the abuse. Even if you think we're not, we are. And he says this about Trump's power play using oil, using Venezuela to suffocate Cuba. Listen.
Hey, everybody. Tim Burchett at the airport, going to head to D.C. Hey, saw where President Trump was putting pressure on Cuba by shutting down Venezuelan oil. Now, what he's done is it's really a masterful move. He's cutting off oil. You know, China was there, and there was no mistaking that timing. They're clearly going to make a move on Taiwan, and they need that oil. Russia needs that oil. And Trump took it over and seized it, and I guess embargoed it, I guess is what they say. But something else that he did was he stopped Cuba from getting it. Now, Cuba, of course, 90 miles off the coast of Miami, communist-owned run, used to cost Russia $1 million a day to keep them afloat, alive. And now, of course, they're bogged down in Ukraine. But by Trump seizing that oil and stopping the flow to Venezuela for the first time realistically in my life, we have a chance of making a change in Cuba. The Castros are murdering thugs, Fidel and his brother now, and whoever else. And it's just got to end at some point. When I was younger, I thought all our blustering talk was, we're going to we're going to end Cuba, end the communist reign there, and it never happened. But this is a clear and decent shot we have. If anybody can pull it off, it's Trump. He understands. The most powerful thing we have is our military. But the second most is our economic power. And that's what Trump's going to use. And he'll do it without firing a shot. So I support this move. I hope we can end the communist reign on Cuba. Those people have been imprisoned. And, you know, that's why they're always trying to escape, get to Miami. And some of the most loyal, patriotic Americans we have are Cuban Americans because they get it. Anyway, we'll watch what happens this week. Thank y'all for sending me here.
It's a voice I trust. He hasn't led us wrong yet. This is the one sheet from the White House, President Trump on Cuba. The Cuban people have long suffered under a communist regime that suppresses their legitimate aspirations for freedom and prosperity, arbitrarily detains dissidents, and holds political prisoners in inhumane conditions. Violence and intimidation against dissidents occur with impunity, while families of political prisoners face retaliation for their advocacy. The regime harasses worshipers, blocks free association by civil society organizations, and denies free speech, including through limited internet access and the absence of a free press. Kind of sounds like us during COVID under Democrats, doesn't it? The Cuban government harbors fugitives of American justice and fails to meet the basic requirements of a free and just society. Now, President Trump is once again implementing a firm policy stance. He says, as president, I will again stand with the people of Cuba in their long quest for justice, liberty, and freedom. He also recently implemented a new travel ban that applies to Cuba, listing Cuba as a state sponsor of terrorism, and cites its failure to cooperate or share sufficient law enforcement information with the United States. Its historical refusal to accept back its removable nationals and its high visa overstay rates. No, you will be squeezed as well. And this is how it's going to be in our hemisphere. You want to live in harmony and peace, prosperity and freedom, and you've been an oppressive government that has stifled the lives, the liberty of people. You've been tyrannical and dictatorial as the woeful protesters allege President Trump has. Isn't that interesting? It ends now. And isn't it funny how all of these people who actually understand what tyranny looks like, how they look at the American left with such disdain? You have no clue what you're protesting. Take a seat. When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, Trump is using our military might and the power of money to force change across the Western Hemisphere as liberals are staging a nationwide walkout. You ready for this? Get ready, everybody. We're all going to walk out of work at the same time on the same day. That'll save America. Next. So ridiculous. Don't you just look at them and you're like, you're such an idiot. I pity you.
I said to you this morning, isn't it amazing the guy that was a dictator or a tyrant is the one that's not only helping Americans, but in the same time giving democracy and giving the people their sovereignty back. Not the country's sovereignty, their people's sovereignty back. But no kings.
Let me tell you about MCT Wellness, my Dr. Gundry drink. I'm now up to 2 of them a day. I just started. Since I'm up early in the morning, I was like, what the heck? And I take it to work out with me in the morning. So I work out at 6 a.m. And this trainer I work with is just, she's a bear. And I drink this instead of breakfast because you don't really want to have anything in your gut before you go and work out hard. So I drink this, Dr. Gundry's MCT Wellness dietary supplement. This is how Dr. Gundry lost all of his weight. Slow and steady, couple pounds every couple weeks, right? So people, all of a sudden, they start to kind of notice that you look a little bit different, but they're not like, Shazam, Sheila, what happened? Are you sick? You're like, no, it's slow and steady. And so all of a sudden you have cheekbones again. And then all of a sudden you're like, wait a minute. is that an abdominal muscle? And you're like, it is. That's this MCT Wellness. It's delicious. So good. Even if you just are a water drinker and you want to zhuzh it up with something, this bad boy meal supplement kills your appetite for about 5 hours. And I think that really helps trigger in your ability to lose weight. Just going to say, great video to accompany it. Go to thehealthyfat.com/Wendy. Thehealthyfat.com/Wendy. And you'll be able to get it. 3 flavors. It's delicious. Once you start, I'm telling you, you're going to be like, you know what? I'm really not hungry for lunch anymore. I'm going to eat a sensible breakfast. I'm going to drink a glass of this, maybe a glass of water, come home, make dinner, eat that. And guess what happens? You lose weight. Thehealthyfat.com/Wendy. I just looked a little devilish, I imagine. So sorry about that. But I do love it. And it is what I'm drinking. I'm telling you, though, I almost think I need to get the Pebble Ice Maker. It's so good. Freaking Chef IQ. Do you know what I just got in the mail?
Blood flow.
Cozy Earth sheets. They're in the dryer right now. Oh my gosh. Which leads me to
What
believe
size?
that they're going to be coming back. King?
Oh.
Oh.
Do they make colors or are they all white?
No, they have colors. Mm-hmm.
Really?
The ones they sent are striped.
Really?
Mm-hmm. It's a really pretty white and then this nice gray stripe. It's almost like they know my bedroom. The rest of it's red, white, and blue. Of course. All right, let's see what we got. Follow the money. We did that. We did that. We did that. I did that.
Shame we didn't send you a queen size.
Yeah, I know. Oh, I got my heads up from Indivisible.
Did they?
I'm gonna read it to you. You guys ready? Oh, I haven't heard back from the leader of it. Let me see if he's responded. He hasn't responded. It's unfortunate. Ezra 11. I'm like, hey, come on my show. A girl can ask, right? You guys know that I'm part of the Indivisible team. That's true. I signed up. I want to be a militant leftist agitating doomcough. And I'm going to train tonight. Actually, I don't know if I'm going to. Brock, you want to go with me? 6 to 9?
If you go, I will go.
That's because you're going to have a gun, correct?
No. What if someone's listening? No. No.
Okay, so I want to read you this. I signed up. Indivisible is the group run by Ezra Levin. And it's interesting. This is the group behind all of these protests right now all across the country. People wearing Renee Good pins. Hey, Wendy, welcome back. This is what it says. This is my weekly rendition, right? Every week for the last year or so, I spend Sunday night to Monday morning writing up this newsletter intro with the help of Indivisible's other co-executive director and my spouse, Leah. We aim to do more than inform. We want to help you take meaningful action. Oh. We continue these conversations on Blue Sky and in our weekly Thursday What's the Plan live chats. Click here. I'm sorry to say it's clear to me that 2026 is going to get worse before it gets better. But we're going to make it better together. So let's link arms and join in. Focusing while in the direct line of a fascist fire hose. Right? They go on and tell you, you can join this militant activism. We need more people. We need more whistles. We need more malignancy. We need more people to act like Renee Good, because that is the way you stop the duly elected people in this country from exercising what we voted for. And that is keeping us safe. Exercising the rule of law to keep us safe. Well, Indivisible wants you all ginned up. They want you all lectured up, all trained, get your battle armor on. This is like masks, okay? What this goofball that you're about to hear from is saying is we're going to do something really cool together, liberals. You ready? It is just the neatest idea ever. I think everybody's going to love this. On Monday, next Tuesday, a week from today, the year anniversary of President Trump going through the inaugural process again for his second term. We're going to link arms and we're going to go out there, ladies and gentlemen, and we're going to save democracy. We're going to do it only the way we know how. Are you ready? All right, buckle up. Here it goes.
January 20th, 2026. Mark the date. Every part of that date is intentional. It's the 1-year anniversary of Donald Trump's inauguration. And it's the day people across the country are organizing a coordinated response. At 2 p.m. local time, your time, wherever you live, you walk out. Work, school, home, it doesn't matter. Wherever you are when the clock hits 2. This isn't about where you are. It's about showing up together. Not chaos, visibility. Then from 3 to 5 p.m. local time, people walk into their local congressional offices. Calm, peaceful, on the record, demanding impeachment and removal. And if you're asking, where do I go? The website on your screen tells you. Go to removetheregime.com and they will tell you exactly where you can find your local congressional offices and everything you need to participate. And here's how this reaches everyone. Film it. Post it on your social media. And if you can't be there in person, repost everything you see that day. On January 20th, we flood social media. Videos from every city, every state, people in the streets, people showing up. That's how everybody participates. That's how pressure works. If you're in office and you're not doing enough, voters are taking notes. Because accountability doesn't stop at impeachment. It continues with primaries. January 20th is the message. Walk out, walk in, film it, repost it, and make it impossible to ignore.
That is called propaganda right there. We need to create this story that there are countrywide protests, that people have just had it with this president. Look, I don't know about you, but I'm done with him trying to save me money. I'm done with them drilling so I don't have to get bent over every time I fill up, or any of my kids does. Because you know what? We have 7 drivers in our family, and by golly, I freaking hate saving money at the pump. I'm tired of all these trade deals. Like, ooh, you got to pay to do business with America. I don't need trillions of dollars coming in and chipping away at the national debt. And enough with the fraud. Why would we want to stop it? I would protest it 100%. I'm going to go out, I'm going to walk out, and I'm going to film it, and then I'm going to post it, and I'm going to share it. That's what he's saying. That's where they are. That is what they have. That is the secret weapon. That is the game plan. That is the, oh my gosh, I totally have it. You guys ready? I know how the Democrats can win the House. You guys, come on, gather in. See it, right? They put it out there for everybody to see. They honestly think that they are warriors doing something to save somebody. Who they're saving is the scumbags in the swamp who've been getting rich, thieving from you, getting kickbacks from the criminals who they allow rape our finances dry. I don't know about you. I'm done with it. When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, hour number 2, guys, trained like good little soldiers. Oh, Renee Good, she was all ready to go. Oh, yeah, next. Damn him. And then, here we go. Let's see. There's so many other things. Your weekly to-dos. You ready, Brock? This is your weekly to-do from Ezra. Ezra 11 at Indivisible. You ready?
We got homework.
You got homework. Tell your senators, rein in ICE now. It was all in cabs, so I figured that was sort of like.
So what are people in Minnesota going to do?
I don't know.
If ICE is still there.
Well, they're
now
adding
they're
more.
torn.
Now they're adding more. They're sending 1,000 more.
Okay, so now what do? Do they stop ICE or do they go to their
Do you walk out? Do you walk out?
Apparently,
of
no
work?
matter what
Do
you're doing, you leave what you're doing.
Yes.
Which isn't work, but
Right.
you leave what you're doing.
Right. Then it says send an email to your senators demanding they restore health care subsidies now. Then keep demanding your senators vote to stop Trump's war on Venezuela.
What war?
Call a Venezuelan. Ask how they feel about that, right? Next, send an email to all your members of Congress demanding action to stop Trump's war of aggression. You guys are a bunch of pussies.
Wow.
Okay? Enough with it. Enough with it. Enough with your little soy boy, mealy mouth, man bun, pinned jeans, Keds with a freaking Subaru and a kayak hanging in the garage. If that's you, and you're a liberal dude, I mock you. Okay? We're mocking you every single day. You're a little okay? And if you're one of these malignant, white, college-educated liberal chicks who's walking around acting like this is the hill to die on while a criminal illegal alien wants to break into your house and rape your son, good luck with that. Good luck with that. Good luck with that.
Don't call the police.
They're not there, babe. 3 to 7. Lights out. Sorry. No cash. You guys defunded us. Sucks to be you. Okay. Anybody? Make sense? No. Ireland Contracting, 1-800-NEW-ROOF, IrelandContracting.com. There is a lot of construction that can happen even in the cold months in wintertime. And you got to love the builders. You got to love the roofers and the renovation people like Gary Ireland, who's been on more roofs than I can imagine. He's been on mine at least 3 times, just so we know. There's a lot you can do in the cold months of winter. So if you need a new roof, you're worried about it. You're like, you know what? That area over there, honey, I think we need to get a professional. 1-800-NEW-ROOF. You know, you're in your house and it gets cold and the draft is killer because you got crappy windows. Did that, been there, done that. You need all new windows in the house. Who can afford such a thing? Call 1-800-NEW-ROOF. Talk to Diane. Talk to Gary. Right? You soffit and fascia, gutters and downspouts. You want some new siding. You want some electrical stuff done. 1-800-NEW-ROOF, IrelandContracting.com. Bada bing. There you go. I look at this kid 15 times a day, and I can't get enough. I'm like, oh my God, you look so good. Okay. Did we already talk about Sniper? Not really?
Not really.
So those flags that Brock held up, 250th anniversary flags, birthday flags.
Yeah, I told him to put them on the site.
Plus Sniper. Disinfectwithsniper.com, hospital grade antibacterial, antifungal. It says it kills HIV. Really? Like what? It's like everything that you could possibly imagine. And Knockout, which is the I'm telling you what, if you cut onions or garlic or you do things that make your hands smell of a chemical or something that you're cooking with, you literally take the Knockout, which is it's Sniper, but for odors and grease, and you spray your hands and kind of go like this and give it a minute, and then you'll be like, and you'll be like, where'd it go? It's magic. Magic 8-Ball. Where did it go? Did it go because my Knockout is better than everything else? Hold on. Outlook, not so good. Well, you don't know what you're talking about. Disinfectwithsniper.com. Oh my goodness, gravy.
Okay. Yeah, he sent me the flag. He's like, I have a flag for you and Wendy.
That's awesome.
And I was like, if I show, because I'm going to try, I think I might hang it behind me. Like, people are going to ask, so you might as well just put it there. He's like, well, they're only in my store. And I'm like, okay. He's like, I only ordered 200.
Oh.
I'm like, okay, well, you know.
If
but
you
the
want
first
one of
thing I
those,
checked, made in America. No,
yeah,
I don't think he
This
cares.
is what it looks like when it comes to you.
Yeah.
250. You know? With a really nice grommets. I just wanted to say grommet. Grommets. I had a jacket once that was all grommets. It was super cute.
What's grommet?
Those are the brass holes. That
the eyelets, like the
yeah. Aren't they grommets?
I don't know.
Oh my gosh, am I making up something?
Probably.
What is it?
You make up a lot of
What
things.
is a grommet? Hold on. No, I don't. Hold on. Oh yeah.
Delicious.
Delicious is Michael. A grommet is a small ring or edge strip that is inserted into a hole in a thin material to reinforce the hole and protect whatever passes through it. It is usually made of metal, rubber, or plastic and is flared or rolled on the edges so it stays securely in place. Right? My vernacular is so expansive, it's hard to keep track.
Yeah. It's hard to look them all up. I don't even bother. I struggle with the words I know, let alone the ones I don't know.
Oh, my. So I think the Twins, did I already say it, are going to Tennessee? I think that's where they're going.
Have you confirmed?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you did confirm. Oh.
Tennessee or bust, babe.
I have some Tennessee stuff.
They
One of them has to go to a different school.
No, they want to be with Ryan. Ooh. My littles want to be together.
How much? What do you have, a visor? Maybe a
I love how
I don't have a
all
sweatshirt.
About you.
I don't have a sweatshirt, so.
Bugger off.
5, 4.
It's all about me.
3, 2, 1. Wendy Bell, America's anchor mom, fighting for America 1 hour at a time. Welcome to the family. She once hosted a 3-hour show in just 15 minutes. She once intimidated the Electoral College to audit itself. Her monologues are so sharp, they're considered a concealed carry weapon. Fact-checker sites routinely issue her a retraction a week in advance. Even her commercial breaks trend on social media. Her freedom of speech has diplomatic immunity. She doesn't just drain the swamp has to ask for cab fare. Wendy Bell is the most interesting conservative woman on radio. Keep rumbling, my friends. 3 hours of bold truth and excellence. You've just signed up for the WBR Army. Strap in. This is the Wendy Bell radio program.
Welcome back. Hour number 2 of the Wendy Bell radio program is live. You know, I do not follow Del Bigtree commonly or his site, The Highwire. But I will say he has put out some pretty phenomenal information over the last years. I certainly fell into him during COVID. I got a lot of great information from a lot of these America's frontline doctors who were really pooed on and doxed and demeaned and demonetized to the platform, lost their jobs because they dared to step forward and go against what everybody else was trying to say to force you into doing something that maybe you didn't want to do. All for a virus that the majority of us could withstand and survive with quite a little bit of effort, right? Well, he posted something today, and I want to read it to you. And the title was Hypocrisy on Full Display. Do you guys remember that whack job Nina Jankowicz? And they wanted to do this like disinformation czar thing. And they wanted this group of people who were going to be the arbiters of what was right, what was wrong, what was actually happening. And we were all like, in what world are you anointed the keeper of the truth? And then there was this thing called the Center for Countering Digital Hate. It was in the UK. Well, I want to read you this from The Highwire. For years during the COVID pandemic, the UK's Center for Countering Digital Hate, which was led by Imran Ahmed, played a central role in censorship, including naming the so-called Disinformation Dozen. They pushed platforms to deplatform us. It framed our work as dangerous to humanity and amplified calls that led to widespread suppression of American voices, questioning vaccine policies. You guys know this. Many of you were silent, censored, the same way we were. Well, now Ahmed, who's a British national and a U.S. permanent resident, faces potential deportation after the State Department under Secretary Marco Rubio invoked the Immigration and Nationality Act on December 23rd, 2025. The determination is this: his activities have potentially serious adverse foreign policy consequences for the U.S., citing efforts to coerce American platforms into censoring viewpoints. Now, the funny thing here is this Ahmed guy, British guy who lives here permanently in the United States, who tried to silence you and succeeded. He has sued now, secured a temporary restraining order, which is extended through March of this year, and is framing this whole deportation move as an attack on his free speech and First Amendment rights, protections he and people at the Center for Countering Digital Hate never extended to those of us they targeted. The irony, the hypocrisy, the lunacy is staggering and stark. Here's a figure who advocated for cracking down on dissenting speech, including pressuring foreign governments and platforms to limit American expression, to silence X, now claiming constitutional safeguards while in the United States. Hey, how about this, Imran Ahmed? Suck it and pack your bags. I think it's time for you to bounce. I want to read you this from the New York Post about Renee Good. I see people at the Golden Globes wearing Renee Good pins. Isn't that amazing how fast they can make stuff and hand it out? For the virtue signaling, for the syrupy sanctimony of it all, for the people who are so freaking brainwashed and literally stupid, like their common sense has been sucked out of their cranial cavity. They're willing to go out and say ICE are a bunch of murderers, cops who are enforcing the law are the problem, and then people like Renee Good are just innocent bystanders. Poor old mom, just trying to get to her kid, trying to make an honest living so I can pay the mortgage. Yeah, that's not what she was. She was an ICE Watch warrior. She was a kamikaze Karen. Right? And all these details now coming out of this Minnesota group, sharing manuals detailing how to fight arrests and launch micro intifadas. Like, do you people have jobs? Honest to God, do you people have jobs? Because you have way too much time to create all these whack job narratives meant to suck in a bunch of women, by and large, who just want to be angry, who find it more enjoyable or more expedient just to be angry than it is to be honest about their own feelings, which have led them down a path into this progressive nonsense. What's lacking in your life that gets nourished by angry militant activism? I don't know. Like, does it get you hot to put on your black outfit and to put on a mask and to go out and ready to take on ICE? Is that like some kind of a thrill? Because at the end of the day, after I'm done working my job, I'm ready for night-night. I'm in my jams. I got my teeth brushed to create a picture of total beauty. Maybe my retainer is in, right? I'm not planning where I'm going to go overthrow ICE. Well, Renee Good was. And there was a great group of people there helping her do it. The Minnesota ICE Watch group, of which slain Minneapolis protester Renee Good was a member, shared a detailed manual providing instructions on fighting police officers to free arrested radicals from their grasp, comparing each de-arrest to a micro-intifada. Say what? The de-arrest primer manual was reposted on Instagram in June by Minneapolis ICE Watch. It's a part of a loose collective of agitators who teach members how to disrupt law enforcement officers performing their duties, including ICE agents. Like, literally, if I were to pull aside one of the bleeding heart liberals in my neighborhood, of which there is a majority, and you know who they are because none of them flies an American flag outside their home. So weird. If I were to ask any of these people, tell me something that makes you proud of being a Democrat. Tell me something. What is it? Right? What could they possibly say to you? Well, I really like to agitate. When my kids are asleep, I'm telling you what, I'm out there like white on rice, setting things on fire. Oh, yeah. What? Like, what happened to you? You realize that ICE is fighting for you, in fact, and that you fighting ICE is really you fighting you. Because if you fight ICE and then ICE leaves, and an illegal alien criminal, or any criminal for that matter, breaks in your house and rapes you, murders your daughter or what have you, right? Well, where are you going to go? What are you going to do? Who are you going to turn to? Do you not see what you're doing? They don't. De-arrest primer, right? It's all laid out in guidebooks. They have training. Can you imagine if there was a way to swing that 180 degrees? Instead of teaching angry leftists how to protest and free people, when you see a protester in the back of a police cruiser, it says, it is a dangerous move and you have to consider the pros and the cons of it. But you should make every effort as an agitator to open up that door and set that protester free. It's your truth. It's what you must do. You're creating a very dangerous environment. We just want to clean stuff up. I just want bad people to go away. I don't want my neighbors to get hurt, liberal or conservative, right? I think everybody's kids should be able to play on the street. You should be able to make good money and squirrel it away and save it and not be bent over every day paying for grifts and grafts and corruption. I believe in very basic things. And I believe that when I call 911 because there's somebody in my house, I shouldn't have to look at my watch and be like, oh, snap, honey, we're on our own. It's between 3 and 7 a.m. and there are no cops answering these calls anymore. Seriously? Democrats, you realize that's what you've done? Well, as a strange twist of fate here, as I wasn't even expecting this when I saw it on the Blaze. Actually, Brock sent it to me this morning. Articles of impeachment against Tim Walz may be released tomorrow. Are you kidding me? That we could actually have some speed with, I don't know, progress? A Minnesota Republican state representative confirmed to Blaze News that articles of impeachment are being drawn up for Governor Tim Walz and will be released soon, possibly today. The failed Democratic vice presidential candidate has been assailed for months over accusations that he obstructed law enforcement efforts to stop a massive Somali fraud scandal that could have cost the government tens of billions of dollars. We are going public with them, I believe, this week, possibly even tomorrow. This is Ben Davis, state representative, who's also a pastor. Davis said that Republicans have been telling Walz directly to intervene against the fraud and that he refused. Fraud's happening. Fraud's going on. You need to put tighter levers on this. And he just has done the opposite. Walz previously announced that he would not be seeking a third term because he knows the walls are closing in, right? And he did what the Clintons did. I don't want to be a distraction. What we really all need to do is unite and fight back against this tyrannical government, which a majority of Americans voted for. Every 7 swing states went for, right? The Electoral College overwhelmingly chose, and we're going to do everything we can to resist because it's all we've got. How am I doing? That was a lot, right? But it all made sense. Isn't that weird how I can do that? I know it's true. When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, well, apparently the clock is tick-tocking for Keith Ellison, the Attorney General of Minnesota. Why? Well, Scott Besson, I think, has some goods. He's got the deeds. He's got maybe an audio recording of Ellison perhaps accepting a bribe. Is that right? What? Next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. Articles of impeachment. Crank it up, babe. Let's go.
You guys have already bought 7 flags. I got a text. Did you say something about the flags?
No, we didn't. It's just spontaneous.
And funny thing is it's nice that he's able to tell us that stuff because that website is just for you guys.
Yeah, nobody knows about that.
He doesn't do it for anyone else.
It's our secret.
Yeah.
Our little secret. Brock, what do we want to talk about? Good talk.
Dr. Simkovich.
What do you want to talk about?
How he fixes people
it's true.
that we know.
Yeah.
When quote unquote modern medicine couldn't do it.
Yeah. I was thinking about our friend with the essential tremor. 40 years.
That's crazy.
40 years she shook out of her shoes with essential tremor. And the best she got from her PCP was a crap ton of prescriptions that quite possibly were conflicting with each other. And then when she asked her PCP, when you look at all the drugs that you've given me, do you ever check to see if there are any interactions? And she's like, oh, the computer does that. I don't have to worry about that. And our friend was like, you don't even know? I don't even know. So when it comes to matters of the brain, God love all the PCPs out there, general practitioner, family docs. I love you to death. You're so important. Internal medicine, absolutely. You need a specialist. When you conk yourself, you get hurt. There's something wrong. You know something's wrong. Like, you got to call Dr. Simkovich. 412-366-3700. It's just that number you jot down. You save it somewhere. 412-366-3700. He has a program where he gets you into the chair and he gets you help. He puts his hand in your mouth, he moves things around, he feels your soft palate. He lays you on his table and he pulls your ear, pulls your neck, adjusts things in your grill, and you get better. I mean, that's kind of simple, but it's how it goes. You go, he does his thing, and you leave better. SimkovichConcussionInstitute.com. Our friend says 70 to 75% of her essential tremor is under control. 412-366-3700. Thanks, Froggy.
Wow. Trying to buy your love.
Wow. Every man on this planet would love to have a wife like you. Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Yeah, right. I mean, that you're laying it on pretty thick.
That is a little bit. I mean, if that was the case, we'd have 7,000 people watching right now. So, no, we wouldn't, but I'm hoping we get 7,000 people watching today. Hey, let's get to 3,000 rumbles. You guys are killing it. We were number 5 yesterday. That's huge. A 40% drop in numbers with the time change. I'm going to say conservatively. That's what we suffered. But I had to do what I had to do, right? And yet you still put us on leaderboard every day. Like, I love you. I do. A special warm
Was that
hug.
a typo? Every man would love a wife.
It's an
Would love
perhaps an illogical predicate is what you're trying to say. But hello to my boyfriend Gail. If Gail is watching, how you doing, honey bunny?
Oh my gosh.
What? What?
I just got. Did you talk about it again? I just got 6 more.
I didn't. How much are the flags?
I don't even know.
Oh my gosh. Would you please go on the site and find out? We're sitting here yammering about it.
I'm busy.
Oh, shucks. I'll do it. Don't worry about it. Well, welcome back to the Wendy Bell Radio program. You know, this doesn't compute for me. So in your state, your Commonwealth or what have you, there is a top law enforcement official, the numero uno law enforcement, the Leo. It's your Attorney General. You would think the Attorney General would do whatever possible within the law to make your state function smoothly, to make sure people weren't ripping it off, to make sure people were doing what they said they were doing. And if they weren't, they were held to account and punished, right? You would not think that the top law enforcement official in your state, your Attorney General, would actually be the one suing to prevent law enforcement from happening in the state, right? Follow me on that? Top law enforcement fighting against law enforcement. How does that work? Why would that happen? Who would do such a thing? Somebody with an awful lot to lose, right? We know that sanctuary cities are sanctuaries for criminals. They're sanctuaries for fraud and waste and abuse. Have you guys heard about the story regarding Chicago or regarding Illinois? Because you're going to. how much money Illinois has spent in the last 3 years on the illegal alien healthcare, free healthcare that we've been told illegals have not been receiving, that they most assuredly have been receiving in Illinois, thanks to the goodness of the Illinois taxpayer? I will tell you the number. You will fall off of your chair. Okay? So people like Keith Ellison, by the way, he's one of 2 attorneys general who is fighting the federal government, fighting ICE, going to court to prevent actually the cleanup of criminals and what have you, rapists, murderers, pedophiles, all of these people. He's going to court to stop those criminal people from being bounced from his community. It's so bizarre. Well, Scott Bessent, Treasury Secretary, apparently has some goods. Perhaps even an audio recording of Keith Ellison, whether or not he was Attorney General at the time, probably was, might have just been a congressman at the time, accepting bribes, potentially, from, wait for it, Somalians, right? Who didn't want the grift in Minnesota to end. Now, if Scott Bessent has that, Keith Ellison's toast, right? I mean, right? Well, let's hear what Scott Bessent has to say about that, because this blew my socks off.
Following the money, there are evidently some disturbing tapes of A.G. Ellison in meetings with people who donated to him, them calling for political favors to stop the investigations. So we'll see. But again, I don't want to get out ahead of the investigations. It's going to be very methodical. And Chris, I can guarantee you, when the bear trap snaps, we're going to get these folks. And again, we're going to follow the money, whether it's over the 2 counties here, in Minneapolis, St. Paul, or whether it's to East Africa. And there's tons of luxury properties, cars that have been bought over there.
Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent dropping the bombshell that now has Minnesota political insiders in full panic mode. And according to Bessent, investigators are reviewing disturbing tapes allegedly showing Minnesota Attorney General Keith Ellison in meetings with donors asking for political favors to stop investigations into Somali fraud. Okay, let that sink in. Like, this isn't rumor. It's not like I got a vibe about this. This is the Treasury Department following the money. And Bessent made one thing crystal clear here: patience now, consequences later. Part of following the money. There are this is his sound. There are evidently some disturbing tapes of A.G. Ellison in meetings with people who donated to him, them calling for political favors to stop the investigations. He says, I don't want to get ahead of the investigation, but when the bear trap snaps, we will get these folks. We're going to follow the money, whether it's in Minneapolis, St. Paul, or over to East Africa. Translation: luxury properties, cars, offshore transfers, political protection rackets. For years, Minnesotans were told this was a conspiracy. It was Islamophobia. It was right-wing fear-mongering. And now Treasury is holding the receipts. It's not over. It's just starting. And when that bear trap snaps, it is going to be loud. Well, that said, let's talk about why Keith Ellison would file a lawsuit along with the Attorney General of Illinois, whose state is a literal crap show. Why would they want to keep the law enforcement of the United States out? It's almost like they're hiding something, right? Next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. I'm not a gambling woman, but if I was, I'm going to go with he's dirty as balls for 400.
That's not much of a risk. Is it gambling when it's certainty?
Right? That's where you'd go like this.
The flags apparently are $60.
That's the all in $60 for yay 250 years birthday America.
It's stamped, I guess, is what you guys are saying, and not embroidered. Embroidered would be, I would think, would be a lot more than $60.
It is not embroidered.
It is not.
It is not. And if stamped is the word for it, yes, it's totally smooth. It's like baked into the fabric.
Yes.
So it's part of that, yes.
First thing I looked at on the box.
Yes, made in America.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be a kick in the
I would have sent it back to
Yeah,
him.
been like, thank you, no thank you. Now, when it comes to coffee mugs, it is what it is.
Yeah, there's nothing.
There's nothing I can do. All right, we've got up to 2.56. You guys.
Darius says embroidered is 130. I didn't know that was on there. You guys know more than I do.
Oh my gosh, Dem's got to go. Just got my flag. Aren't you a sweetheart?
I'm thinking, should I hang it here or hang it at home?
I don't know. I have a beautiful American flag at my house, and I would take it down and put this one out. But like when? Because this is the year, right? So I don't know. All right, let's talk Morgane's Fitness. Kelly Morgan, Morgane's. Okay, I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you real fast.
Which one? The cutie patootie that you like, or the guy?
I don't know. Neither. Hold, please.
Hold, please.
Press 1 for a callback.
Press 2 for Spanish.
Press 3 if you want no options at all. And this is Canada Goose. Where is it? All right. There he is. All right. Okay. So you hear me talking about Morgane's Fitness. And I blab on about Morgane's Fitness. I'm like, I think I like about Kelly. She's a bodybuilder. She's been chunky before. She's been well fed. She understands the difference. She's also worked her ass off and is now like 0 body fat. Just so you know. Okay? I don't even know what those things are on her shoulders. That look like paintbrush strokes.
That's
Anywho, Kelly says in 90 days, she's going to help you find your inner beast. And it's great. You don't have to be in Pittsburgh. You don't have to be in Pennsylvania because she's got 4 gyms, Somerset and Cambria counties. Look them up. Morgane's Fitness. She's great. And the team is great. And everybody goes there. They're patriotic people and they want to get their zhuzh out. So she says, give me 90 days. I'll give you the exercises. I'll tell you what to eat, what to stay away from, but it's on you. And then we'll do some check-ins and we'll see how you're doing. But after 90 days, you're going to be 100% different. Morgane's Fitness, MORGAINZ fitness.com. Click on 90 Ignite. Yeah, what was that thing here, though? It was like this. It was like, bing, 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 bing. And I was like, I don't think I have any of those muscles anywhere.
Yeah.
Kelly is Kelly Morgan from Morgane's Fitness. So she's a friend of ours, but she's also a sponsor of this program. And she just sent us a picture about just being a badass. So that's just, I don't even know what that is. Like,
I don't have that many muscles.
Wait a minute. I'm going to zoom in on it. Okay. What, this? What's that?
Deltoid?
What the hell is that?
That's a bunch of muscles I can't identify because I've never seen them.
Right? I mean,
it's like ab muscles. If you said what's an ab muscle, I'd be like, I don't know, never really seen one.
It's
supposed to be right around here, but is everybody born with them?
Yeah, so I had to do push-ups today, and I'm like, God, I'm bad at this. And Mary Beth was like, you just don't have any shoulders. No, duh. She does. Oh my God, that was crazy. Okay.
Yeah, muscles I've never used. No kidding.
Right? I'm like,
I'm strong inside.
I don't even like walking around in a bathing suit in general, let alone here. Take a picture of my back. Though
I don't want anyone to take a picture of my front or back.
She's had me doing some weird stuff, and I'm never gonna look like that. Morgain's Fitness, MORGAINZ Fitness.com. I'm like, rah. All right, can we get some? Let's get some rumbles. 2.6, 400 away. We're at the halfway mark. Come on. See, if we doubled this, we'd have badass numbers. You get your 6-pack from the beer cooler.
That's where I get mine.
Anti-Dem, I love ya.
I buy the keg. That's what I carry.
Do push-ups against the wall, Wendy, after. Welcome back to the Wendy Bell Radio program. A delight to be with you. And again, reminder, you can always follow along in the live video stream. We like that. I like getting it, sharing it with you on video is all 3 hours, commercial breaks and all, wendybellradio.com. I think it's neat. Not a lot of people do that. All right, so let's talk about this. I'm truly baffled that there would be an attorney general who wouldn't want to enforce the law. If you don't want to enforce the law, it means you're breaking the law, or somebody you're protecting is breaking the law, or somebody is paying you so that they don't get busted for breaking the law. I mean, how many other scenarios could you possibly have? You know, there's only so many options. People who aren't guilty tend to be offended when they're accused, right? They're almost like, what? What are you saying about me? Okay, that's ridiculous. Let's open up the books. Let's figure it out. Let's look at the video. Let's check it out. Let's get to the bottom of it because they know that they're not guilty. People who are guilty will be like the Clintons. Well, we find that today is a great day to stand up against this tyrannical president. And so we're not going to show up at House Oversight and testify about Jeffrey Epstein and how many girls Bill was with because we're above the law. Oh. Minnesota and Illinois attorneys general have filed lawsuits to stop ICE in their cities. Like, it's the dumbest thing I've heard. Let's get to the whole story because then CNN is like, we got to talk about this. Let's get into this. There's Anderson Cooper digging into it with his black glasses stolen from Rachel Maddow. Minnesota and Illinois sued Trump administration over, quote, federal invasion of immigration officers. Really? This is so dumb. 2 Democrat attorneys general filed a lawsuit on Monday seeking to restrict immigration and customs enforcement from operating in their state. Damn you. We don't want you making things safer. I don't want you getting rid of the rapists and the pedophiles and the murderers. How dare you? Sheila, get the minivan. We're going on a hunt. Really? Illinois' lawsuit, joined by Chicago, questioned ICE's tactics, particularly throughout the immigration enforcement effort called Operation Midway Blitz. I got a few details on that are inconvenient for the left. Because, you know, when thousands of agents whose job is to find illegal alien criminals, when they descend on your city, you know what happens is they usually freaking find them. You can sit there and say, it was just the worst. I mean, they came in, they arrested him. It was just did he break the law? Is he criminal? Is he scumbag? Shut your mouth. Though defendants describe this assault as immigration enforcement, the reality is that uniformed military-trained personnel carrying semi-automatic firearms and military-grade weaponry have rampaged for months through Chicago and surrounding areas, lawlessly stopping, interrogating, and arresting residents and attacking them with chemical weapons. Do you know why ICE would use a chemical weapon on people and where they would use those? I'm going to go with when the ICE facilities in these cities is being surrounded by militant agitators like Renee Good, and they then try to lunge at and make unsafe the ICE agents, they're going to get a little tear gas. They're going to get some pepper spray in the beezer. Step back. We've warned you. Step back. Oh, you don't want to. Okay. Psst. Sucks to be you. Oh, no. says the attorneys general of Illinois and Minnesota. That's too much. It's crazy. Who are you protecting? Because it's almost like what we say every day. It's all run by what? Blackmail, bribery, all of that stuff. Who knows what about whom? Well, I want you to hear. Let me read another couple paragraphs on this, and then we're going to bring in Anderson Cooper and Ellie Honig, his chief legal analyst over there at CNN. Illinois' lawsuit, blah, blah, blah. Minnesota and the Twin Cities, known as the metropolitan hotspot encompassing Minneapolis and St. Paul, filed its lawsuit in the U.S. District Court for the District of Minnesota. If it passes legal muster, ICE and other government agencies aiding immigration enforcement through Operation Metro Surge, including Customs and Border Protection agents, would be ordered to halt or limit operations. They're telling you. They don't want the Somalian fraud to stop. They don't want the Leering centers to close. They don't want the transportation vans that haven't worked in years, never did, have never picked up people because they don't exist, going to the daycares that are just front operations. And you know that because there are no children there. They don't want this to stop. That's crazy. We allege that the obvious targeting of Minnesota for our diversity, for our democracy. Don't attack these Somalian people because they're dark-skinned. You're a racist. No. You've been stealing our money for too long, and we're pissed. We want it back. And all of your pants on fire, song and dance, dog and pony show nonsense doesn't change the fact that you have been stealing, and we are over it, and it ends now. Do you hear us? Here's Anderson Cooper with his chief legal analyst. We're going to make a big to-do about this. Oh my goodness, all of this immigration stuff. Is there any legality at all, any precedent, any hope, prayer, anything for this lawsuit, for these two attorneys general to do anything? Of course not.
Former federal prosecutor and senior legal analyst Ellie Honig is here. Does this lawsuit have any chance of doing anything?
No, I don't think so. What they're asking, the state of Minnesota is asking a federal judge to throw ICE out of the state and to prohibit ICE from enforcing federal law in the state. There's simply no precedent for that. These lawsuits, Illinois and Minnesota both filed similar lawsuits, have no precedent cited in there. To do that would violate the Supremacy Clause, which says the states cannot block the feds from doing their federal duties. The one thing that Minnesota might get out of this, depending on the judge could want a hearing and could ask ICE some of the questions you just asked Senator Klobuchar about training and protocols. But they're not going to win, but they might get some information.
Okay, so you've got an attorney general in Keith Ellison in Minnesota who seems to run interference for the Somalian fraud. You have a guy, an attorney general in Illinois named Kwame Raoul. And he's doing a whole different kind of smoke screening. It's a different kind of fraud. This is my supposition, okay? Are you ready for this? Headline, thecentersquare.com. Audit shows Illinois' non-citizen healthcare subsidies cost $1.6 billion. Say what? Healthcare subsidies for illegal aliens, $1.6 billion over 3 years. That's more than half of $1 billion, $500 million a year, going to fund healthcare for illegal aliens. How much of that money do you guys think goes to Leering centers? How much of that money goes to autism clinics? How much of that goes to this or that, or transportation services, or in-house counseling, or at-home nursing for people who need it? How much? Where's Nick Shirley? The fight over taxpayer subsidies for non-citizen migrant health care in Illinois continues as a new audit shows Illinois taxpayers' costs ballooned beyond estimates and a total of $1.6 billion over 3 years. Remember when they told us that wasn't what was going on? There's no great replacement. We're not bringing in people in the darkness of night. No, shut your mouth. An Illinois Auditor General report on health benefits for immigrants, seniors, and adults showed overall costs from 2021 to 2023 were up to 286% higher than estimated. totaling more than $897 million. There were also eligibility errors with poor internal controls. Shut up! What? No, we're not giving money to people who shouldn't be here. That's a conspiracy theory. You're a right-wing MAGA extremist. You're like Nick Shirley. Ladies and gentlemen. Really? On the House floor, State Representative Amy Elk from Alton, Illinois, place I know well, said the audit shows Republican concerns were valid. It was not enough for us to say, I told you so. We got to do better. Now is the time. This is our opportunity to work for taxpayers, not promote fraud and overspending. This is the message to this administration, and I believe they hear it loud and clear. We are grateful that you're hearing the concerns about affordability. We are grateful that the cost of gasoline is coming down, that we're slowly seeing the downing of our grocery bill, that it's coming down, it's getting more reasonable. But do you understand? We want you to take ferocious action. We want this to stop. We don't need years of debate. We don't need hearings. It's right here. 1.6 billion. And yet the Attorney General of Illinois wants to fight ICE. Really? Are you screwed or what if you live in a sanctuary state? Speaking of the federal cleanup needed in Illinois alone, did you guys hear about all of the arrests made during that Operation Midway Blitz of the last several months? Because it was pretty important. And this is what the Attorney General of the state wants to stop. ICE has reportedly arrested about 250 people in Chicago since DHS launched Operation Midway Blitz. The operation targets illegal immigrants with criminal records living in Chicago and Illinois. Who would be against that, right? Besides someone getting something out of it. Everyone deserves to feel safe in their community. Duh! Apparently, though, the Attorney General of Illinois doesn't want you to feel safe. He doesn't want the grift to stop. And he sure as hell doesn't want you paying attention to why 1.6 billion Illinois taxpayer dollars went to pay for Jose and Raul and a bunch of people whose names we can't freaking pronounce from 94 foreign countries who were welcomed here with the promise of a very easy life. So as all they did was get their social security number, get your driver's license, and go get on the voter roll. Cast your vote, damn it. Wait a minute. That's not happening. Right. Well, when we come back, this is where civil disobedience, civil discourse is in this country, okay? You're not allowed to disagree with people on the left. You can't have an opposing view from a liberal. So the police officer, the ICE agent, I should say, who shot and killed Renee Good. Some nut job out there is encouraging this officer be assassinated and encourages him to say goodbye to his wife and children because he's not going to come home. What? Next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. $1.6 billion. Did you guys know about that?
Was it over 3 years, you said?
Yeah.
Maybe figure out 44 million a month.
Yeah. So
44.5.
Yes. What is 1.6 billion divided by 36?
44,444,000.
Lots of fours. $44 million a day.
You know what the worst part about that is?
A month. Excuse me.
That now they're using taxpayer money to sue.
That's a great point.
Yeah. It's just keep screwing. Yeah.
Here's what's going to happen.
Here, we're not even going to use Vaseline. See?
I'm not even going to. Here's some sand.
I'm just going to
take a little bit of sand. You'll love it.
Yeah. You'll have Vaseline. We'll put sand in it.
Gee whiz, what the flip is going on? All right. Let me tell you guys about the healthy fat. I do love the healthy fat, and I love what they do. Getting supplements into your body quickly and effectively and efficiently. That's great. I mean, why would you spend money to go to GNC and get a supplement that you think you need, because you probably do, only to then not know that maybe your stomach isn't able to break it down, that your stomach acids aren't strong enough to get the job done, and so you end up passing it, like literally pooping it out before you get any of the benefits. Well, might as well just poop cash in the toilet, right? There you go, flush it down the drain. Or you can get it in a microgel form. In this place, it's so much easier. It's so much more compact, and it's easy to take. No pills, no gagging on big horse pills. You just squeeze it into your mouth, and all the supplementation that you need in this microgel gets into your body and is so much more easily absorbed. 165% more absorption with this than if you were to take a supplement by mouth and poop it out. You guys like my analogies and visuals? Only the truth for you. Healthycell.com/Wendy. Their products are great. I've been taking the bone strength. I've got it right here on my fingertips. Something that might be able to help me stave off osteoporosis or any of the other problems, brittle bones. Bone strength. Brand new from Healthy Cell. Healthycell.com/Wendy. Great supplementation directly into your gut. I love it. Healthycell.com/Wendy. There's a good coupon. There's a good discount there too.
This next guy's reservation off of it.
As much as I despise you, anybody who I think is dangerous and who's a derelict, a deceiver, a disappointer, I don't wish death to them.
No.
I've never looked at people who I'd like to throat punch and throw down the stairs and wish they died. What? The people that they've picked off of this police just on a federal level. That's what all this anti-ICE nonsense is. And isn't it interesting? All of the presidents ahead of President Trump who've deported way more people and not a peep from anyone. Not a peep from anyone. It's such theatrical nonsense. But the kindling that they've now lit on fire is dangerous. And it'll burn you. It burned Renee Good. In this indivisible email I got from Ezra Levin and his wife or whatever, and these are the malignant people behind all of these protests across the country. He said that Renee Good's wife wrote a beautiful, tear-jerking letter about the goodness of Renee and how her life will never be the same. It's just so moving. You should really check it out. No. Hey, George Floyd had 1 million decisions to make that day, and sadly, all of them were bad. Renee Good had a lot of decisions to make, and sadly, hers were poor, and they ended in her being killed. And it sucks. And I sure wish it didn't happen, right? But trying to twist everything around and pretend it was something other than what we all saw takes offensive, lying propaganda bullcrap to a level that pisses me off. Because it presumes that you're either too stupid or too asleep to understand what's going on. But I tell you, the majority of America is neither. And we're tired of being treated like dummies. We know. And the day that you go down, however it is, whether you get handcuffed, whether you get thrown in prison, whether you get bounced back to the home country where you slithered from, I don't care. I want it. I hunger for it. I freaking crave it. And I'm not in the minority. I want you to hear this nutcase. Here's this guy who comes out. This is where our civil discourse is in America. You can't sit down with a liberal and say, well, I disagree with you. I think ICE is important. I think these people who've come into our country, particularly those who are violent and broken our laws and hurt our people, need to go back home. And we need them to go now. You can't sit down and say that to somebody because they will say you should die. Well, that accelerated fast. That happened quickly, right? Listen to this guy, all right?
Wouldn't it be a shame if this guy who took the life of Renee Good in Minneapolis, if he didn't make it through the week? Would it be a shame? Can we find out? By the way, as soon as somebody shares his address, it's going all over the place. I mean, Pete Hegseth is all talking about FAFO. Yeah. FAFO.
Wow. So you're calling for the doxing of that federal agent who was doing his job. And you're encouraging someone to kill him. Really? Well, somebody out there did a little dive on this guy, and they found him pretty quickly. His name is Christopher Terrazas. He's a 56-year-old dude. He's from Long Beach, California, and he's attempting to dox the ICE officer in Minneapolis and make death threats against him. He is an online antagonizer who goes by the handle Johnny Gen X. He's also, it so happens to be, a math professor, a creative advertiser, a bassist, and a cellist, okay, for some symphony, I guess, in California. You know what? Isn't it interesting how a shame it would be if people would reach out to this guy, Christopher Terrazas, and would track him down and find where really? Chris, is that really what you wanted people to do? He wasn't done. He had more to say about ICE agents, possibly getting killed. Ew.
Hey, if you're an ICE agent, this might be a good time to kiss your spouse and kids goodbye, because you know what? You might not be coming home tomorrow. Gladly. And your family will be better off for it.
See, I don't understand that. That would not be something I would say, because there would be no joy in that for me. I would not take some sense of glee or sanctimony. I wouldn't feel as though I'm sounding like a big shot. I wouldn't believe that it was something people should admire. You know what? That guy should probably say goodbye to his wife and kids, because one of these days he ain't coming home. Wouldn't that be a shame? But don't worry about it. His family would be better off. Who says that? What happened to you people out there on the left? Did you all go to like some party and take some drug? Was there like a Men in Black, hold, please look at this thing, bzz, flash of a light, and all of a sudden you're lunatics? What happened to you? Well, how do you justify celebrating Charlie Kirk's assassination? What would make you go out and make a martyr of Luigi Mangione for stalking in cold blood and shooting in the back like a freaking coward? The head of United Healthcare. Like, you realize you've jumped the shark. You have now rendered yourself unsavable. I don't know if there's therapy to unwind that, but somebody better save that. When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, hour number 3, America to President Trump, hit the gas, fix the fraud. Rasmussen's top pollster with some very fascinating numbers. You're going to like it next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. The little witch who stole our sign and vandalized it and put "all cops are bastards" on my sign. We back the blue. I wouldn't go out and say that about her. I wouldn't be like, well, you might be careful because someday you might not come home.
She might be at the meeting tonight. Not just who's think of this. Who thinks that? Who says that? And then who puts that? I mean, talk about escalating. To think that's disgusting. To say it's just worse. But to put it out on the internet, and someone is going to find him out, and they're going to start it. They're going to call the symphony. They're going to call the university. It's just, this is how you know they don't think things through. They don't think about what they're saying.
But this is why that cat from the UK who was living here and was head of that, disinformation bullcrap, whatever the name of it was. I forget the acronym. Here we go. The UK Center for Countering Digital Hate. Anybody who controls what can be said, where it can be said, how it can be said, what can be said, right? And it's so interesting how they try to convince you that that's what democracy looks like. Really? No, it's not. I need to go to the bathroom. Let's see what he does. He's going to saunter. All right. The Disc Institute of Pittsburgh. I hope he doesn't have to go to Dr. Rafferty, because that means he's in so much pain that going to a chiropractor, having other things done, hasn't worked. And when you get to that point, it's like, I've got to have surgery. And that's a huge thing to swallow. What if you didn't have to have surgery? What if you could go through a treatment and have your discs grow back? That if you were just moved in such a way that there was space there again, instead of the grinding of vertebrae on each other, that your disc could regenerate. It could get fluffy again. It could be exactly what you need it to be, in position and healthy and fluffed, all zhuzhed up. And then you didn't have pain anymore. Wouldn't you want to try that before you had surgery? I would. That's what Dr. Rafferty does. PittsburghDiscInstitute.com, DISC. PittsburghDiscInstitute.com, 412-906-9600. That's what he does. It's called intradisc neutrosis. No surgery, no cutting, no needles, no blood. Just something that works. And it's worked thousands upon thousands of times. 98% of the time, it works. Intradisc neutrosis. Go to PittsburghDiscInstitute.com. Literally, when I say to you, it's like, it sounds like a broken record, but it's true. It's every day. When I'm telling you this, it's every day people are getting fixed without surgery. I'm going to go real fast.
The stuff on the gentleman at the end of the show, one of those guys, he just turns the phone on themselves, breaks the narrative out there that they're trying to force feed you that we hate each other and everybody's homophobic or everybody's racist. And it's people waking up. And more people are waking up than I think, because most of us have been, for lack of better words, awoken. We don't think other people are. They're moving on their own time frame, but they're getting there. And more people are getting there, and they're seeing other people doing it. And they're not caring what their friends think. They're not caring what others are saying. And I think that's the ultimate thing, is you're getting people to the point where they don't call me whatever you want. I don't care. Whatever. And the more people we get to whatever, say what you want to say. I know who I am. I don't need your justification for anything. That's what we need. We need a bunch of people to not give any F's anymore.
What you saying?
I said the gentleman at the end breaks a ton of narratives. And,
oh, yeah,
we're getting to the people. I said, a lot of us have already gotten to that point, but more people, and I know I don't see it as much because I'm frustrated with the people who aren't there yet, but the more and more people who give no Fs, and they're starting to get to the point where we're all at. Call me whatever you want. Call me a racist. Call me whatever. I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
I know what I see. I know what I hear. You people are nuts. And more people, how many times do you see on X where somebody that's they say, I was a hardcore liberal. I've always voted Democrat. And these people, when you have Bill Maher, now is Bill Maher voting Republican? No, but he's calling them out literally every show, how nuts they are. Like, he can't even believe it. So Bill Maher may not vote Republican, but he's at least opening the eyes to a lot of people out there who watch his show.
I don't disagree. Uh-oh, I might do it. It's really hot. Sorry.
It is warm in here today.
It's warm in here today. I'm sorry. It's never easy to do this, and it usually ends up in calamity. Yes. I have a whole metal detector kit of...
And we need some rumbles, people.
Yes.
286. See, we haven't been beating you up. Because people complain when we beat them. Beat them over the head with it.
Yeah, stop saying dummy. Okay.
I don't remember which one this is.
Yeah, give me some new stuff.
Let's go old school.
Yes.
Wow.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Wendy Bell, America's anchor mom, fighting for America 1 hour at a time. Welcome to the family.
This is what people don't understand about Donald Trump. They get caught up in the tweets. They get caught up in all the manners that he supposedly doesn't have. The man touches everybody's hearts, talking about greatness, talking about inspiration, aspirational living, being great. Everybody wants that. Everybody wants to improve their life for their family, for themselves. He touches me. He's got a bond with his voters that nobody can break. He's got a bond that it's innate. Not everybody can create this bond. There's not a Democrat that has any kind of a bond with anybody in the Democrat Party. Trump is untouchable. There's not one person that can even be on stage with Trump and not be overshadowed simply by his presence before he even opens his mouth.
3 hours of bold truth and excellence. You've just signed up for the WBR Army. Strap in. This is the Wendy Bell radio program.
Welcome back. Hour number 3 of the Wendy Bell radio program is live. I think the American people, to a degree, are a civilized, cultured, classy, courteous people. These United States, we are, I believe, the most graceful, the most benevolent, gracious people on planet Earth. There is not a medical emergency, natural disaster, humanitarian crisis, explosion of fraud, whatever, that we are unwilling to go and help however we can, whether it's with our own skill, our time, our presence, or our money. We're the phone a friend of the entire planet, and the number one place everybody craps if things don't go their way. We're expected to be all things to all people, and yet this skewering of the goodness and the kindness of the American people. Like, look, our civility has limitations. It has an end point. Because we are tired of the fraud. The $700 billion that Scott Bessent dropped on us the other day, saying that's reasonably like a pretty safe estimate of how much money every year is ripped off from us. It's the equivalent of, what, a tenth of our budget, 10% of the budget. $700 billion. Imagine what you could have. Imagine what you could have saved for. Imagine if they hadn't been ripping you off all of these years, your taxes didn't always go up. Why did the taxes never go down? Why is there never anybody in the back room saying, you know what, we kind of did a little too much here. Hey, Sheila, let's figure out how we can merge these two offices together because it seems kind of redundant. Says nobody in government. Why? Because we haven't freaking demanded it. Because we haven't been Iran on the streets. We haven't been the people of Venezuela. Oh, we think we've had things bad. We had Joe Biden. The dude was in a mental coma in his hyperbaric chamber, getting hopped up for the 5 minutes a day that we would see him shuffling here or there, wearing his sensible shoes, standing on the X marks the spot, getting the cue card that says who Hillary Clinton is, or having the Easter Bunny guide him out of the hedges. Oh, we think that we're upset. You've never fought for your life, right? Have you fought for your life? Have you fought for your survival? Have you fought for the ability to walk outside, say what you want, not get shot by police in your home country? And America is done. I don't want to do it anymore. I don't want to pay anymore. Mr. President, I know you hear me. I know you're bringing down costs, and I'm grateful, but we need to hit the gas, yo. We got to hit the gas. We got to stop this. It's got to stop. We need it to stop. We need you to act like a dictator. Yes. Yes is what I said. I need President Trump to act like a dictator. Tell people who don't understand what's going on, sit down, shut up. We've done it your way for too long. And now you want to run interference on our investigations, and you want to throw us off, and you want to plant landmines, and you want to blow them up so we don't catch on to what you've been doing. Do you not know he knows? Rasmussen's top pollster, Mark Mitchell. I don't take him commonly. He said some things that I found intriguing today. He starts with this soundbite. He says, this president, he took a hit in November and December of last year with his favorability. But what we're seeing now, after he took out Maduro, after these power moves going on, after him going after fraud, is wild. America is responding fast.
You know, I'll tell you, for November and December, it really felt like the wheels were falling off and Donald Trump's net approval got down to -12. It's still, I think, -9 or -8 today. But what is changing is the last couple of days have been absolutely incredible. We've finally seen, in my opinion, a lot of aggressive actions, which is what Americans want out of Donald Trump. They want the system fixed. And so if he can make sure, if he's managing this circus, right, and he has one big main ring and there's a couple of side rings, I would almost say that he could get away with whatever he wants in those side rings, as long as the main ring is the core fundamental root cause problems that Americans have right now. And what are those root cause problems? It's decades of corporatism and uniparty kleptocracy and corporate welfare have hollowed out the middle class, and we need the American dream back. And that's going to be a long road to hoe. It's going to be a journey. America needs a golden path, not a golden age now. And I think we're starting to see that.
I think we're starting to see that. And then he says this. He's like, look, this is the time for this president to secure his position, not just in American history books, but on the world stage. This is the moment for him to do what needs to be done because Americans are desperate for a leader who takes no prisoners. Go.
Donald Trump was elected because people trusted him more than the federal government. And if he's not attacking the federal government, unfortunately, he's wrong. And so all of a sudden, we see Right Direction has reclaimed low 40s. It's a solid 42% today, I think. And so that's good because we lost the 40% number. And so I think America is fundamentally behind Trump, and the polling says it. We had a poll from a week or two ago, and we asked America, has Trump delivered not enough or too much of what he promised? Only 21% of America says too much. 38% say not enough. And especially the younger voters, half of them say not enough. And so what people want is kind of the stuff I think we're seeing out of Trump now. His numbers are getting better when he acts like a dictator. And that was kind of like what happened in February and March as well. And so you look at these ICE protesters, you look at this ridiculous level of fraud. people hate this. The Minnesota fraud, I mean, the numbers of fraud just keep getting higher and higher. We're up to 75% of Americans right now that are angry at the level of waste, fraud, and abuse in America.
3 out of 4, the other 25% are asleep somewhere in the woods. I don't know, hibernating. 75%. We're tired with the degree of waste, fraud, and abuse. It has to end, but it has to be flashy. We want to see it end. We want to see people. We want to see heads on a swivel. People want the system to be fixed. Jesse Waters last night said, look, this Somali fraud thing is a whole network of connected grifts. Think about the transportation services offered for all of these fake clinics, fake daycares, leering centers, and autism clinics. Listen.
The Minnesota fraud faucet keeps on dripping, and we're not talking daycares anymore.
When a Somali goes to the doctor, magically, they forgot how to speak English, so they need an interpreter there. So the county brings in an interpreter at $100 an hour, minimum 8 hours, to interpret what the doctor is telling the patient. And then remember, the interpreter has to get to the doctor's office or the hospital. How are they getting there? The transportation company, and then they got to get back home. And that patient had to get to the doctor's office. How? Transportation.
Oh, so how much are we paying the interpreters and their drivers?
Almost 900 of them are Somali-owned. So in the second video, Nick Shirley and I went to 16 of them. I've actually been to about 70 of them. They don't exist.
So transportation companies that transport no one. Sounds like something we should be looking into.
There you go. Meantime, in Oregon, one of 23 states and the District of Columbia, who are not cooperating with the Department of Justice to hand over their voter rolls. Why? Because they're obviously fudged. Why would Republican states say, okay, here you go, and the Democrat states say, obviously because they're cheating. Oregon election system faces scrutiny as state moves to address 800,000 inactive voters. Astounding. What? Oregon has faced multiple lawsuits in recent months over its voter rolls. See, people are done. I'm tired of the lawsuits. I'm tired of it working through the system. This is the slow walk. This is the running out the clock. This is the stonewalling of Democrats getting away with crazy by making you nuts. Right? Listen to this. Oregon election officials are set to begin removing hundreds of thousands of inactive voters from the state's registration rolls. A move that comes after years of inaction, mounting public pressure, and lawsuits filed against the state in recent months. Oregon's Democratic Secretary of State, Tobias Reed, in a press release Friday, outlined 2 new directives he said will restart the routine cleanup of outdated inactive voter registration records in accordance with state law to address the roughly 800,000 inactive voter records that are being maintained by election officials. Okay, well, why did you stop cleaning your voter rolls? It's your job. It's like your main job as a Secretary of State, Tobias. I'm not here to be Mr. Obvious, but geez, 800,000. And you know what he goes on to say? Look, I mean, I know our rolls are a total shite show, but I'm going to tell you, those 800,000 dead people are people who don't exist. I mean, don't even worry about it. It's not like they're getting ballots and voting or anything. Really? You guys feel better. I feel so much better now that he's told me that. Woo! And here I thought it was just going to be like more election abuse. Yeah, who's checking on that? When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, my friends. Seriously, burning the left's fake narrative about January 6th into public school doctrine. Did you guys hear about the Virginia Democrat who wants it mandatory, like in the law, that if you're in Virginia as a public school student, you're going to learn about the great insurrection that was January 6th? You can't talk about the stolen election, though. Shh, no. Insurrection, yes. Stolen election, no. Really? Why are you so scared, son? Next. I have a lot of energy today, do I not?
Wow.
I know.
My phone was blowing up.
Why?
according to ESPN.
Oh boy!
Not that this is a sports show or anything.
Oh, please say that Tomlin's been fired.
After a historic 19-season run in Pittsburgh, Mike Tomlin just informed his team that he's stepping down as Steelers
Because they couldn't fire him because he's black.
Sources tell Jay Fowler, ESPN, and me, Adam Schefter.
Okay, whatever. He was irrelevant to me 10 years ago. So, don't care. Thank you for the update, though. Whatever. He's going to step down. The Rooneys aren't going to fire him because they came up with the Rooney Rule, which is all about black people and minorities getting chances. It's not about black people like Mike Tomlin getting chances and being mediocre. Oh, he's such a winning coach. He always has a winning team. Now what he has is, Brock brought it up, no legacy coaching behind him.
None. No coaching tree, as they call it.
Why not?
And if you aren't making other people better.
I mean, look at Brock. When I found him, he was just a shriveled up mess, right? I nursed him back to health. I scooped him up and I was like, oh, honey bunny.
Did we ever tell the story
Let me help you.
about
let me get that off your face. Oh.
There was a old program director that I had that reached out to her.
Me, yes.
And told her that when I worked for him, I was a B player, a bench player. And I'm just like, it didn't surprise me, but
he's now dead. So,
yeah, well, I didn't do it. Wasn't my fault.
No. Wow.
Well, did I want that? Of course not.
Well, that's not what I was saying it for. I was saying, well, whatever. He was trying to convince me to do something. And
with him, of
course. All right. Body by aim360.com. Aim Print, genetic testing. It is genetic testing like you've never seen before. $499. You don't give blood. You don't go to a doctor's office. You don't have to worry about anything. You go to bodyByAim360.com. Brock and I both did this. It's right there. Click this button, add it to the cart. You're like, okay, add the $79 consult because you're going to need it when you get results. You're going to get a kit in the mail. It's going to look oddly like this. Inside is going to be all sorts of materials. Well, really not much. It's like a swab thing, and you swab your cheek, swipe it around over this side, stick it in a thing. Off it goes in the mail. 3 weeks later, you get results, and you're like, oh my gosh, what am I going to learn? Well, unlike typical tests that show risks, this genetic test goes a step further. It identifies your genetic predispositions from metabolism and inflammation to mood and energy. It provides a personalized treatment plan so you can take action now to prevent issues before they happen. It talks about obesity. It talks about cancer. It talks about Alzheimer's. It talks about stress. It talks about sleep. It's everything. And you're like, what? Talks about your gut, talks about gluten, talks about your nerves, talks about, oh my goodness. BodybyAim360.com right now. Get it, try it. I think it's the most amazing thing you're going to get. And then you make all the changes that you need to make now so that when you're 70, you're not like, right? Don't you guys love mine? You do. I know you do. You love all of my sound effects. Body by Aim. All of it's barcoded. It's completely confidential. This is what it looks like. So great. So great. I'm going to one of the moments I felt the sickest over the last several years, this strange, woke, DEI, sanctimonious do-goodery of liberal idiocy garbage that we've gone through. One of the darkest moments for me was watching them take down the monuments, taking down Confederate statues, trying to erase American history, and this lack of pushback. This lack of can you imagine anybody standing up and pushing back against the destruction of a Robert E. Lee monument? Now Americans don't seem to care about that stuff. I don't understand it. They started rewriting American history. They wanted to recreate what this country was, who fought and died for, what the real issues were, and how much the Republican Party historically has been on the side of civil rights and always on the side of Black Americans. Period. Without debate. But now there's this Virginia delegate, Democrat in Virginia, this Dumkoff, that's my word of the day, who wants to make it in law that if you're going to teach about January 6th in school, you got to talk about it the right way. It's not open for interpretation. There's no nuance. No, he knows the way. He knows what happened, and he's here to tell you that's the way it should be taught. Really? Let's read about this. It takes some stones, doesn't it? This little twerp. Virginia delegate Dan Helmer, Democrat, just introduced a bill which would require public schools to teach about January 6th to say it was a violent insurrection to overturn the election results and to ban teachers from saying that there was election fraud. Dan. Oh, Dan. I'm very disappointed in you, Dan. Because either you're stupid, right? Or you've been already co-opted by this bribery and blackmail industrial complex, and this is part of your play. Either way, it's gross. This is what it says, House Bill number 333. Fantastic. It's going to be offered tomorrow. A bill to amend the Code of Virginia by adding a section numbered 22.1-202.2. relating to public schools, programs, and courses of instruction, instruction on January 6th insurrection, and requirements and limitations. I wonder who this guy thinks he is. And this is what it says. Instruction relating to January 6th insurrection at the United States Capitol, requirements and limitations. A, any school board may provide a program of instruction on or relating to the January 6, 2021 insurrection at the United States Capitol to public school students subject to the requirements of subsection B, which happens to say any program of instruction or any accompanying curriculum or instructional materials or any instruction provided by a teacher as part of any program or instruction on or relating to the January 6, 2021 insurrection at the United States Capitol pursuant to subsection A shall, number one, not describe, portray, or present any credible a description or portrayal of the actions precipitating or involved in the events of January 6th insurrection as peaceful protest. Not allowed to say it. It's forbidden. Strike it from your tongue. Who's going to police that? I wonder. Number two, you cannot state, suggest, or present as credible a statement or suggesting that there was extensive election fraud that could have changed or actually changed the results of the 2020 presidential election. You know, if Joe Biden won lawfully, and we were all supposed to believe that he won 81 million votes, which is totally bat crap crazy, but oh well, right? If he had won, and Democrats were so certain of it, they wouldn't have to go out and browbeat you with it, would they? They wouldn't have to force you. They wouldn't have to write it into law. They wouldn't have to make some kind of legality attachment with it because everybody would know. But Joe Biden, everybody loved him. He was great. He had fabulous ideas. He was a terrific speaker, man. You guys remember how that cat was touring all over America and those huge rallies that he had? Right. Because none of that happened. Not allowed to state, suggest, or present as credible any evidence that there was extensive election fraud that could have changed or actually changed the results of the 2020 election. Curious why we're protecting that. And number three, describe the January 6th insurrection as the United States Capitol as an unprecedented violent attack on United States democratic institutions, infrastructures, and representatives for the purpose of overturning the results of the 2020 presidential election. That's what they've got to say. It's an odd thing to make a bill about, isn't it? I mean, that was 5.5 years ago. Like, why are you still pushing this? Unless some election stuff is about to drop, which feels kind of interesting, doesn't it? When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, let's talk about this. Trump in a position most presidents would kill for, to leave an everlasting legacy, not just in America, but the world. Next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network.
The good news about that, I like to be positive about things, you know me, is that most of the kids in Maryland won't be able to read that if it's at grade level. So there's that. I don't know if that's so much positive.
Isn't that gross?
You will go to Baltimore, see the scores, and that's what you're worried about?
I wonder how their drug zombies are. The most recent video that is it Sarah Hernandez? What's her name? Sarah. She's cute.
I think so.
Is that her? She put it out about Philly. And there's like some woman who literally, she looks dead. She's sprawled out on the street. Her pants are half down. And then you have the people who are frozen in that sitting pose.
I understand Baltimore is not in Maryland. Or that was Virginia, not Maryland. I'm just saying that it's just not Maryland. It's across the country that kids can't.
Virginia hasn't had all of the exposés on the dumb kids. Right? And the kids who cannot read, cannot do math. They're functionally illiterate because of the fine quality and the focus and the priority and the agenda of your public school system under D-bags like Randy Weingarten, who fly to Ukraine to press the flesh. Hey, Vlad. How you doing? Aren't you a lesbian? I am. But you want a piece of this? No. Blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so we're going to have this back. We're going to have Mark Mitchell back from Rasmussen. Because I think it's interesting. Kind of is like, this is your time, Mr. President. Let's see what you guys are up to. Maybe 3,000 yet?
No.
Yes, 3.01.
Shouldn't have to beg.
Ain't too proud to beg? I can't say I'm too proud to beg. I'll beg. Yes, you're absolutely right. Jay Hers. This fentanyl poisoning is perpetrated by China. So buying all that cheap crap from China, you're paying for the death of your own children. You can see that.
Well, going back to when you were talking about Cuba, and we talked about this morning too, this puts into play, how far ahead Trump is thinking. The Panama Canal. That seems like it was eons ago, but how crucial that is to getting China out.
You're not allowed to have that. You can't have that as part of Belt and Road. Get out. Look what they've done to all these foreign countries. We'll build roads for you. We'll do all these things infrastructure-wise for you. You just let us settle down right around here.
I'm looking to see which one's better. The real or the cartoon?
I hope that's bitter and tastes like poop.
It's Crescent Mountain coffee. Of course it's not bitter or tastes like poo.
It is damn good. So I gave Mary Beth a bag. She hasn't had it yet because unlike my family that just rips into new stuff and lets the other stuff just sit there and fester, she and her wife and their children actually go through it methodically.
Judiciously.
Let's finish what we have and then we'll open up what's new, says logical people.
No, what she doesn't want to do is open that, drink that, and realize I only have one bag. I need to buy a ton more.
It is the best coffee ever. CrescentMountainCoffee.com if you haven't bought it yet. Bought it if you haven't gotten it. Patriot Blend, Shazizzle Blend. It's just the best coffee. It's the best coffee. And we make $1.80 off of every bag. And that gives us opportunity to do fun stuff and give that money to good people. To sponsor softball and baseball teams. To give money to people who are struggling and might need a new wardrobe because they just lost a lot of weight. Little things that we get to do because of you. That's what it is.
Oh, Donna Lynn 66 says she thinks the cartoon looks better. I might have read that wrong, but it sounded good.
Why does that make you gleeful? Look at you. You think this is funny. Why is that funny to you, AA Ron? Hmm?
Send you down to O'Shaw Hennessy's office.
Principal O'Shaughnessy, son of a bitch. Yeah.
That's one of the best. That, and I will stand by
yes. If you guys haven't seen The Substitute Teacher from Key and Peele, please find it. It's worth your while.
And if you've never seen Dave Chappelle's Sesame Street,
he's hilarious.
The Dave Chappelle Sesame Street is
doesn't he call the Count a pimp?
Yeah, he's a pimp. I know a pimp when I see a pimp.
It's so funny.
Oscar, you're a grouch. Of course I am. I live in a garbage can. It's fun. Look it up on YouTube. It's funny. It's worth your while.
Don't tell people what to do.
Don't steal my line.
Right?
How about that?
Just saying. Go back to the Wendy Bell radio program. You know, I try to explain to my Generation Z sons, all of them are in that generation, ranging age from 25, almost 26 down to 17. And I try to explain to my sons and the older boys who have graduated college and are working. They tell me not infrequently about the woes of their generation in terms of unaffordability. I remember graduating college in 1992 and going on to graduate school, not because I was particularly horny to get an advanced degree, but because the job market was horrendous. There was not a whole lot going on in television news, right? And so I decided to go a step further, do 2 more years of education, went to Mizzou, University of Missouri, got my graduate degree there and moved forward. I remember it. It was hard. It's never easy getting out, getting a job, doing these things. It's become unaffordable. You know, there's no 24-year-old who wants to live at home with mom and dad. I'm just going to say this. It's convenient. And yeah, I cook a nice square meal, you know, a hot meal every single day of the week, probably four days a week. Right? That's great. My kids don't want to live at home, but they can't live somewhere else because it doesn't work out. The money they're earning isn't good enough to pay for the rent or what have you. And forget saving for a home somewhere. Where? With what money? When your starter home isn't $139,000 anymore, it's $450,000. Where are you going with that? I hear my sons say this, and I want to say to them, this isn't President Trump's doing. I understand that you're going to blame the guy who's in office now. You're not going to remember what happened when Joe Biden got into office. You're not going to remember what life was like when you were little munchers under Barack Obama. I remember that. And I have historical context of my own life. You cannot punish this president for this. This is not his job. This is not what he did. He's trying to fix it, right? He's trying to fix it. And he's trying to fix it fast. Yes, so that we can stay in charge and in power, so that the House remains in the conservatives' hands. Republicans are able to control the committees and President Trump's agenda, hopefully, God willing. If we can expose enough of the suck and get some people out of the freaking way, we can make progress more quickly. But I want to take my boys and I want to say, look at what's going on. This is not his doing. And I know you want it fast. Well, that is the story. It has to be faster. It just does. And I hope the president is listening. Mark Mitchell, head pollster for Rasmussen, said, look, we are looking at some numbers not so long ago. And then we're watching the downfall of Trump's support among Generation Z. The young men, they've abandoned him. He's lost like 50 points with them. They're gone. They blame him for what's happening. So Mark Mitchell says, look, our polls show that this is President Trump's opening. Between now and November at the midterms, America wants a brutal return to order. We want a factory reset, but beyond that, we want the suck excise. We want the cancer carved out. We need it irradiated. We need to make sure it doesn't happen again. Surge with the guard. Flood our cities with law and order. America is starving for it, Mr. President. Says Rasmussen.
And so here's where I think it matters. Like, this is not the same America 10 years ago that kind of cared about the Constitution and all the finer details about entitlement reform and red versus blue policy. No, again, these people think the system has failed. They want a brutal return to order, and they want people held accountable. And so what Trump could do between now and November is just like surge these cities with everybody.
Yeah.
Like, forget just ICE. People protest ICE. Are people going to protest the United States Marine Corps? Let's, use the Insurrection Act. Or what about all those 80,000 armed IRS troops that we never fired? Like, let's get some people up there. Let's do it in California. Let's do it in New York. Let's do it in New Jersey.
And let's force Democrats and their liberal whack job, progressive, white college educated, triggered liberal chick minions, the clone troopers, the kamikaze Karens who believe that they're playing a video game and that resisting doesn't have consequences. Let's show that it doesn't matter if it's immigration's officials. It doesn't matter if it's your local law enforcement. The left will push back and protest anything that has to do with law and order, civility, and this fraud going away. And Mark Mitchell continues. He's like, look, this is what the American people care most about. Interesting.
Americans fundamentally care most about fairness. And we've measured that so many different ways. Like 90% think it's important to prevent cheating in elections. 95% think it's important we don't have a two-tiered system of justice. And so if your core principle is fairness, accountability, reform, and a return to order, be smart about it, obviously. And people don't like the masks and people don't like the theatrics out of ICE, obviously. Some of that stuff has gone a little bit too far, but it's like, why aren't we beating up the businesses? People would be there for that. They don't want to hear about business stability. They're beyond that. They can't afford a future in America, and all the economic metrics continue to say that. So yeah, it's like, okay, if people are protesting ICE, again, I don't think they're going to be protesting the FBI as much. They're probably not going to be protesting the troops that we would surge, but we got to understand where we're at. Only 30% trusted the federal government before the election. Now everybody looks at the government and basically assumes it's been validated multiple times now that there is just a generational level of fraud and abuse.
And even the younger generation is catching on. And he says, finally, in this last soundbite, it sounds like DOGE, the Department of Government Efficiency, needs to make a major comeback. It never went away, but it needs a bold homecoming. It needs pomp and circumstance and sparklers. Come back, do it, save us, carve out the fraud.
Over 70% of Americans assume that most elected representatives are profiting ill-gotten gains from their positions, abusing power. They're angry at the level of waste, fraud, and abuse. Overwhelmingly, people wanted the swamp train, like 69%. They want audits of the major programs. And we got rid of DOGE. And DOGE could have ushered in a new generation of youth voting for Republicans. And Republicans really didn't kind of care about that. But again, now Trump, in my opinion, like, remember, we had almost 60% of America agreeing with Trump that he who saves his country violates no laws. And so I think that this is the opportunity of a lifetime for Trump and Republicans. It's like basically go after this criminal cartel of Democrats. And if you like, I haven't asked these questions. I'm sure it would be overwhelmingly popular. Let's get RICO cases. Let's like roll up Antifa. Like why? Like finally, we're hearing about investigations into George Soros, but people think this country was stolen. They want it back.
They want it back. Now, this is going to force an uncomfortable conversation about Attorney General Pam Bondi. You know, I appreciate the woman. I appreciate what she is doing. It is not enough. There are no prosecutions. Nobody's going on trial. Nobody's paying the price for things that seem as pedestrian now as perjury. I mean, think about it. Would you ever imagine lying under oath? Well, they do with immunity. Go after one of somebody. Trump needs to decide. Are you going to stay with Bondi? Is she going to do what she needs to do? Because his truths to her, directly to Pam Bondi. Where are the prosecutions? Apparently hasn't resonated. You got to have an honest conversation about what you're doing moving forward, because you know who would move forward? Eric freaking Schmidt, the former attorney general of Missouri, if I'm not mistaken, now senator. Guy knows. He is tenacious. Let him on. Set him free. If Pam Bondi isn't going to do the job, is she thwarting the progress? I don't know. Most voters see U.S. government as corrupt. This is what Mark Mitchell was referring to in this Rasmussen poll. 4 out of 5 voters think corruption is a problem in Washington, D.C. They're divided over who could clean it up. The latest national television online survey finds that 80% of likely U.S. voters believe the federal government is corrupt, including 44% who say it's very corrupt. That 14% live somewhere in some fictional land, whatever, right? They believe that Ilhan Omar is a valuable person. Okay. While 43% trust Democrats more to handle the issues of government corruption and government reform, 41% trust Republicans more, and 16% aren't sure. So they know it's a problem, but they don't know it's their side. They don't realize this is my team. Like, you got to wake up. Wake up. A survey of 1,155 U.S. likely voters, blah, blah, blah. 76% of voters agree that federal agencies such as the FBI and CIA need major reform. What did Trump just tweet out regarding Kash Patel and the FBI? You got to get the scum and the filth out of the FBI. You've got to carve out these people, and you've got to do it fast. I'm sorry, I'm asking you, Kash. You got to do multiple things. You got to multitask. I need you to be all over what's going on with ICE and all this other stuff happening with all the illegal garbage, the fraud. Yes, but we got to carve it out from within the agency, from within the FBI, from within the CIA. You can't have people pretending to be law enforcement agents who are breaking the law and are running interference for it, who are punishing the whistleblowers, who are thwarting what America wants. They want their freaking country back. That's what they want, right? Among voters who think the federal government is very corrupt, nearly 2/3 strongly agree that the FBI, the CIA need major reform. 80% of Republicans at least somewhat agree that federal agencies such as those two need major reform, as do 71% of Democrats. Is this perhaps the great unifying subject, cleaning up the fraud, the waste, and the abuse? Because if you're not in on it, if you're not getting paid by it, if you're not directly connected to it, but you learn that it's costing you, you learn that if you live in Illinois, $1.6 billion of your taxpayer dollars have gone to provide free health care for illegal aliens in Illinois over the last 3 years alone. At what point are you done writing the blank check? This is Trump's time. I hope he seizes it and starts acting like a dictator. When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, I got a black guy from Louisiana snapping out of his propaganda hibernation, the trance. He sees it all so clearly, and what he says is freaking outstanding. Next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network.
Here's the way I look at it now. If the average Democrat doesn't bitch about you, you're irrelevant to them. Not the Adam Schiffs, not the Eric Swalwells when you get into hearings. When they don't talk about you when you're not in a hearing, they're not afraid of you. They talk about Kristi Noem. They talk about Donald Trump. They talk about Pete Hegseth and Marco Rubio and J.D. Vance and all these people that they hate. I never hear them say anything about Pam Bondi. They either don't fear her
or she's part of it.
I don't care what Hannity thinks.
I don't care. I don't watch them, and so I don't watch her. You see her a lot more commonly because you do have a visceral reaction to that.
Well, it's just shit ain't getting done, but all I see her on Hannity, I swear, it just seems like it's once a week. Like she has a standing invite once a week to come on and talk to Sean Hannity.
Right.
And if they aren't talking about you and they aren't going after you, you're just irrelevant to them. They don't care about you. They're not afraid of you. That's the way I look at it.
Or they see you as a comrade.
Yeah.
You're a comrade.
I know Trump loves Susie Wiles. And I don't have anything to say about her because I don't really know. I just know that they're pretty tight-knit, her and Susie Wiles. So
who, Pam?
Yeah. Worked together in the past. And it just makes you wonder.
We have our own friend who worked in the Trump first administration and who told us, who was the one, Todd Blanche? Is that who she said was the snake? One of Trump's main attorneys. That she says he thwarts a lot of the legal progress. Aw. Aw.
No one expects it to be cleaned up in a year. No one expects that. But you know what? Eventually, you need to put the key in the ignition, turn on the car, and take it out of park.
Can I
Yes.
ask your fashion sense?
Oh,
I want you guys to check out my son Christopher's tie shirt combination today at high school. And tell me if it works for you.
I'm going to go no if you're showing it. Oh, no. Christopher.
Look at that. Look at that.
Was
Hold
he
on.
trying to be
Let me
funny?
zoom in. No, I don't think so. Look at that.
And he didn't button it, Christopher.
Oh, Chris.
I have no fashion sense.
Oh, what a sweet boy. Look at that mop. Oh, I wonder where he gets it. Look at that. Look at that. Oh, my. Oh, Bobby.
All you need to know about that kid, hard worker.
Bobby came. He was going to a formal for the gals in the Catholic school down the street. He got asked to their winter formal or whatever it is, homecoming. And he comes downstairs and he's wearing this beautiful blue suit. I was just delighted it still fit him. And he had a white shirt on, beautiful. And he was wearing a black tie. And I was like,
go back upstairs.
With black socks and black shoes. And Ryan and I walked in and we're like,
not
I
the
don't
statement you
know.
wanna
I don't know
make.
if that's what you want to do. I'm like, do you have red? What's she wearing? And he's like, red. And I'm like, red.
Yeah.
Red or black. And he had red flowers. And I'm like, red. And he's like, what? I think I look good. And I'm like,
Wow.
back to the Wendy Bell radio program. So this headline today, before I get to this gentleman from Louisiana who has come out of his hibernation, he snapped out of the propaganda trance that he was under. I want to read you this because it caught my attention from the Washington Post. This is the headline. Trump picks up the phone and calls Senator Elizabeth Warren. It's actually a legendary headline because I was like, ooh, why? Why was that? Well, why shouldn't he? Right? I think this is very interesting. It's one of these, it's different. The unlikely conversation came after years of antipathy, between the two politicians, including the president's derogatory use of the nickname Pocahontas to describe her. She lied. She lied about being a Native American, WAPO. Democracy dies in darkness. Well, you know what? It's pretty dark over there. Do you guys have enough candles? It was a typical speech for Senator Elizabeth Warren. The Massachusetts Democrat blamed President Donald Trump for rising costs that she said are hurting Americans. She called him a wannabe dictator. She accused him of doing not one damn thing to lower housing costs and ridiculed him for not actively supporting legislation that would encourage more construction. Where's Donald Trump, she said. Has he lifted a finger to move that bill forward in the House of Representatives? She asked Monday morning at her appearance at the National Press Club. He sure knows how to get on the phone when he doesn't like what they're doing over the Epstein files. So Trump got on the phone with her. The two erstwhile foes. Who talks like that? I don't even know what that means. Shut up. The two foes discussed housing legislation and the proposed cap on credit card rates. It was a, quote, good call that occurred spontaneously, White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt said. He heard about the speech and said, let me call her, Leavitt said. President Trump has shown a willingness to pick up the phone and talk with anyone. This was, however, the first time that Trump has called Warren. This is what they have to do now. It's not good enough that he called. It's not good enough that he reached out to her, that they had a conversation, that something good might have come of it, right? He's never called before. Jim never asks for a second cup of coffee, right? It's like one of those. You're like, how about just leaving it be? He called. Hey, Polka, what's going on? I don't know how it went down, but it doesn't even matter what happened, right? They talked about stuff, and he agrees that he wants to talk to progressives. Wants to talk to the progressive wing of the Democrat Party. Do you have suggestions that you think would be good for affordability? Let's go. Sit down with me. Joe Biden didn't do that. He was on the beach 40% of the time, right? Anyway, just wanted you to know one of the reasons that I like President Trump. Anyway, unabashed. I want to talk about this now. This is a Louisiana man. This is a black man. And he's like, look, I've been told all my life about this or that. And I believed it until one day I started looking around and I realized that's not the way it goes at all. Listen.
We've really been tricked to believe that if somebody a different color from you and they don't agree with what you think, they automatically racist. I'm looking at my feeds every day. 90% of them are white people telling me they agree with me, they ride with me, they calling me their brother. And this on every single post. Do you know who going against me? Just because I think differently than him, my own people, the ones that's my color. I got people jumping in the comments out the blue, don't want to argue what I'm talking about, just want to call me a coon, you going against your people, and I hope the police kill you, and all that other shit. Like, whoa, get real, bro. You know, it took me till I was 30-something years old to actually just look around at my life and be like, you know, a white person never called me. I live in Louisiana. It has never happened. I mean, ever. And if it did, it was the white boy that grew up in the neighborhood that was around us all the time, and he got tired of me picking on him or something. I probably didn't even hear it. I'm just being honest with you. I lived in Louisiana my entire life. I have never been called by a white person. I have never been disrespected by a white person. As a matter of fact, I'll give you one better. Southern have a homecoming. We running from bullets every single year. LSU have a homecoming. They ask me, hey, Paul, you with LSU? Come on over here. I got something for you to drink, man. Come get you a plate, man. Every time I ever went. Every single time I ever went, it's been like that. When I go to the Southern homecoming game, HBCU, I'm running from bullets.
That's an amazing commentary from a guy who just kind of had an epiphany. And he's like, it's funny. I'm looking at my social media feed and I say things that apparently people who are black don't agree with, but I never get dragged by white people. They've never called me the N-word. And then I go to an HCBU, one of the historically black colleges, and I go to a football game and it ends in violence and I'm running from gunfire. I go to LSU and the people who don't even know me say, come be a part of our tailgate. Interesting when you snap out of the propaganda. It ain't working anymore, leftists. It's not working anymore. And that's good news for America. Thanks for being part of the Wendy Bell Radio program. Get the app. Come back tomorrow. Bring a friend. Love you guys. Peace.